Go far and beyond. D Derell saw you came up the other day. D Derell willing to please you in any way. I said you've been watching me. I know you've been stalking me. I know you like chocolate. Kiss me from the head down to my feet. On the go, you said D Derell running deep in that hole. I'm like, baby, goddamn, I'm on it right now. I'm like, baby, let's get it, let's do it like that. Ship hard and ready. Look the way she like to go steady. D Derell about to go and let it flow. Baby, you don't wanna let time waste right now. Wanna hear you make that freaky ass sound. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Dumb bitch asses. Fuck the DBA. To the ladies in the sector, shake that ass, 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 shake that ass. To them ladies in the sector, shake that ass, shake that ass, shake that ass, shake that ass, and just shake it real fast. Bitch ass nigga named Alan Logic. Yeah, we know you LGBT in the closet. Yeah, motherfucker, yeah, we say it to your face. Motherfucker can't even keep a care of me. Woo! Bitch ass nigga named Alan Logic. Yeah, we know you LGBT in the closet. Yeah, motherfucker, yeah, we say it to your face. Motherfucker can't even keep a care of me. Woo! Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Chat, sing with me. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Dumb bitch asses. Fuck the DBA. To the ladies in the sector, shake that ass, 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 shake that ass. To them ladies in the sector, shake that ass, shake that ass, shake that ass, shake that ass, and just shake it real fast. Pissy ass nigga named KIP. Crying ass nigga named motherfucking P. You see him on the panel, yeah, they talking about me. Yeah, you see him in the sector, yeah, they talking about D. Pussy ass nigga, silly ass nigga, old ass worn out dumb ass nigga. You see him all around in the motherfucking sector. They mad that they can't be the Godfather. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Chat, sing with me. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Dumb bitch asses. Fuck the DBA. Welcome, everybody. This is Coach D Derell Spills once again. Happy to be here with each and every one of you. Got this new mic I'm trying out. I don't usually use the USB mic. I got an Anchor mic that I'm trying out. Let me know if it sounds good. This is going to be a mic that I can use on the go. Should have tested it out, but I decided to just go live on this mic. Let me know what y'all think about my new mic. This is more of a USB mic on the go type of mic when I don't feel like using the other mics and so on. Hope y'all having a good day today. Before I get started, we're going to have a great night. Right now, as we speak, we got niggas talking about D Derell, talking about my wife. They talking about all kind of shit. Niggas looking up paperwork. Niggas doing all type of goofy shit that really don't mean a goddamn thing. Now, this person that you see on the screen right here is at the motherfucking forefront. This nigga is mad at me. This nigga is mad at me because I exposed how he look. This nigga talked about my wife all greasy. This nigga talks about me when I don't even discuss him, don't even mention him. Now he all butt hurt and mad and upset. Nigga, please, nigga, please, nigga, please. This nigga is the reason why I'm on this channel right now. I should be on the Rebirth Live because he wanted to strike my channel twice because he all in his feelings. You see, that's the problem I got with bitch ass niggas in the Bengali sector. You fuck with the Godfather and he don't even fuck with you. This nigga ain't even relevant in the sector. And then when I clap back on your ass and expose your ass, now you want to flag the channel down. Now you want to get all upset because I'm talking about you. You talk shit about my wife for 2 weeks. I talk shit about you and expose your bitch ass. Now you getting mad and now you crying to YouTube. You see, this is why I can't fuck with pussy ass niggas in that sector, because I don't go out of my way to dox any motherfucking body. They can't handle the motherfucking heat. And soon as something go around, oh, I'm going to look your shit up. Nigga, you can go look up whatever you want. It doesn't matter because I have the truth. Now y'all mad. Now you pulling up shit. Niggas lying about fucking alcoholism and all kind of dumbass shit that ain't true.
And to be honest with you guys, the shit really don't matter. That nigga is fluffy relationship nursing. Shout out to people in the chat. Shout out to Mag Bones. Shout out to Miss Queen Sun Kiss. What's up, Brown Dude Life 89? What's up? Miss Murph in the house. I see Carrie Ann in the house. I see Mr. Jason C. He say, Coach D, Godfather. What's up, player? See my opinion. Relationship nursing. That nigga chunky as fuck. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. The shit shake my head, man. And I also would like to say I can't go live on DDerell The Rebirth live for a whole week due to this nigga sitting right here. And so basically what's going to happen, I will be going live. I will be doing more morning lives. A lot of people have been letting me know that they definitely digging my morning live stream. So what I've decided to do, because I will make a concerted effort to go live, I'm buying a new mic for my phone so that I don't have to. I think it'll sound a lot better if I have a wireless mic to the cell phone, and you will get a better quality of my voice instead of the way it sounds, especially with me driving in the car. It's going to take away the wind sound and all that kind of stuff. It's going to basically focus on up close with my voice. I think it'll be better quality. It will improve the quality of the show. So what I plan to do, at least 3 to 4 days a week, I will be going live on the go, like, doing things, because I do a lot in the morning, man. I get up 7:30, 7:40 in the morning. I have to go to my dollar store now, take care of some shit in the morning, get that operational. Then I gotta, drive to my other business, my intensive outpatient program for adults. Got to see clients. I got to go back, closing and stuff, at least 4 days a week. In between, I'm doing business. If I'm not doing therapy and therapy related business, I'm doing retail related business. So some days are more busy than others, but I do think by me going on the go live with a better quality wireless mic, I think that'll be cool. I think it'll be real good, and it will improve the quality of the morning show. I will be going live on this channel every day, in the morning next week up until Friday. I think I will be free to go live on the Rebirth LIve Channel. And yes, I will be going the fuck off next week when I am on that channel. I will be roasting niggas. I will be going off. What's up, Chaos Rain? What's up? So, just wanted to make that known. Also, I have a couple of videos that I have to edit for the D Derell Coach D channel, dating coach channel. I've kind of, should have been had using that as more of a priority. I may go live this weekend too, man. I need more lives on that channel, and I plan to definitely do that. So the topic at hand is modern women over traditional women. Now, that can mean something different depending on the person that you're talking to. And the problem with the manosphere space is that they speak in so many majorative, such a polarizing manner. They speak in the majorative as if one size fits all as it relates to black women, as it relates to the black community, as it relates to black men. And I'll be curious to hear what people, how do you define traditional women versus modern women? In my position, I view women as women. Um, you can actually be modern and traditional at the same time. You don't have to be put into a you don't have to be put into this box in which you're either one or the other. And see, I understand that incels don't understand the difference because they don't understand women, so they only base women on their own negative experiences because of their incel like spooky ass, freakish, stalkerish, and creepy like behavior. They're used to getting such a negative response from women. They've never gotten a positive response, so that's the lens that they see women. Unfortunately, earlier today, I was talking about I don't know if it's on another channel or I was talking about, yeah, that was earlier today. I was talking to Sexy Red TV and she was talking about men and women, and she was so concerned about the young black males that are hearing this BS from the manosphere space and how these older guys are influencing them. And, I don't see it 100% the same way. I do see an influence because there are several young men that I know in this space who have been heavily influenced by the manosphere, and they have bad, very, very poor success, not just with dating women, but just interacting with women, period. And I think that's one of the biggest issues is that they're defining the behavior of women merely on the basis of dating and relationships, or it's been sexual. And I am more concerned with just having pure productive relationships with women, period. Just being platonic friends, just collaborating to do things, just working relationships, developing businesses together, volunteering together, just doing productive things. What's up, Faith? What's up, the Faith Factor? How you doing, baby? Glad to see you here. And so I'm more concerned about the overall interaction between black men and black women that is productive, that is more than just the mere fact of dating, relationships, or sexual related. Now, for myself, I cannot relate to these Negroes because I have had great relationships all my life with women of all ages, related friends or whatsoever. I've had a lot of women who've helped me out in my career. I've also actually trained a lot of black female therapists, a lot, particularly in the last 6 to 7 years. 90% of my trainees were black females. And that's just a fact. I've only trained one black male therapist my whole career. I had several others who were not serious about it and were coming in and was bullshitting. I had one guy about 3 years ago. He had issues and he had all kind of issues and baggage that he brought to the table. I didn't want to deal with it. And so that's basically it. There's not a lot of black male therapists. People talking about STEM. Because notice, men in this space only want to interact in fields that don't allow a lot, that you don't have to have a lot of social direct contact and interaction with other people. They never talk about fields or fields of study that are sectors that allow you to have to interact with people a lot because they're not sociable people. Now, traditional women versus modern women. In my opinion, the two labels are interactive because you can be a modern woman and still be traditional. You can be traditional and still be a modern woman. I would like to hear from the women in the chat to give me your perspective on how you define traditional woman and how you define a modern woman. Now, from my perspective, and I'm going to say this right offhand, I do not define a traditional woman as being someone who has to operate under servitude. Okay? And I think that that's what they define a modern woman as. I'm sorry, as a traditional woman, that you have to be, you can't have a brain. You have to definitely be domesticated. You can't have job skills. You can't be ambitious. You can't wish to do anything that involves being industrious. Everything is solely dictated on a man and what he feels and what he thinks. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I was blessed to see growing up. I saw the relationship of my grandparents, both grandparents, and I saw the relationship of my grandparents on both sides of the family and other older people of their age. And what I saw being that they were very traditional, what I consider traditional, but they were not traditional in the sense that these people are talking about online. And I'm going to describe what I saw most women doing, particularly older women, like that were my age of my grandparents or older, when I was growing up. First of all, let's talk about this myth, because when I saw my grandparents and I saw this with my mother also, most of the women actually handled, and I want to basically emphasize this. They handled the finances. Let me repeat. They handled the finances. My grandparents, my grandfathers, my dad, they were all blue collar men. And most of the men growing up in a small town, Louisiana, they were blue collar men. When they got paid on Friday, they gave their check to their wives. And they trusted their wives to handle business, meaning they trusted their family, their wives, to pay bills, put money in the bank account. They took aside a little spending money for themselves to do for gas and whatever things that they needed. They trusted their wives with the finances. That's not traditional to the sense that they define. This lets me know these Negroes don't have a clue, and they are so focused on trying to mirror white men and mirror European relationships. The dynamic of Black relationships is totally different. Traditional Black women of the 40s, the 50s, 60s, and 70s, even the 80s, was handling the damn money. And I've seen this in other places. These guys gave their finances to their wives, and their wives. Now, it's not that they didn't have a hand in saying what needs to go here and go there, but they made sure I make the money. You make sure things are paid. You make sure everything is taken care of. I'm gonna go out here and bust my butt making this money, and you make sure that things are taken care of. Some of these women, most of these women didn't work 50-50. Some worked and some didn't. Now, the only consistent thing that I see is that, yes, these women did cook and they did clean, and they were very good at managing the home and making sure the kids were taken care of. But the women managed the goddamn money. And they would let their husbands know when they needed money, or they didn't have enough money, or they need this or they need that. There was not a man dictating to them, telling him, listen, I want you to do this and do that. No, matter of fact, most men, and I can even say this for my own father, they didn't even question what their wife did with the money. They just trusted that she did the right thing and everything was good. And that's facts. Now, for more highly educated men, that may have been different. Those that had bachelor's degrees, professional, they may have, been a little more different as far as they operate. But that's not the average Black man at that time. The average Black man at that time did not have a college education. Matter of fact, the average black man now don't have a college education. So when we want to talk about traditional woman, I am talking about it merely from the perspective of the African American community and not from an American, the totality of an American population, because the experience for black people is quite different. The economics, the culture is different. And African American women have traditionally managed the money. And no research report, no research study wants to quantify or study or analyze that. In the 50s, 60s, and 70s, even my grandfather died at 95. My grandmother died years later at 96, 95 too. She died around 95, 96. And she was like 6 or 7 years younger than him. And she got married to him at 18 years old. And he was like 25. And when they got married, they had 14 kids. And having those 14 kids, I want to say 7 of the 14 kids received college education. Everybody graduated from high school. Everybody went on to have good careers, went to the military. All of the girls, except for 2, had college education, master's degrees plus 30. 3 of the boys graduated from college and received bachelor's degrees. And you know what school they went to? Take a wild guess. My alma mater, Southern University, HBCU, and they were successful. And that's the reason why I went to Southern, because I saw the success of those that went there. They did quite well for themselves. But most of the girls were educated. And that's just the facts. So, please help me understand, what do you know about the real traditional woman? Because the real traditional woman handled shit financially. The real traditional woman made financial decisions that controlled the home environment. There was not a man sitting there dictating how things were supposed to be done, and this is supposed to be done this way. You need to do this and you need to direct. It was already understood. The traditional woman also was stern about going to church too. And for a lot of those women, it was mandatory to go to church. Traditional woman was Christian. Traditional woman believed in going to church, and everybody had to go to fucking church, whether they wanted to or not. And that's just facts. The traditional woman did a lot of disciplinary, took a lot of disciplinary action. Now, when things got too crazy, she did yield to her husband to handle shit. But most of the discipline was done by the mother, the traditional woman. If you hear these Negroes talk, it's almost like she don't have no decision in disciplining the kids. It's all me. You just basically there to follow my directives, my provision. As if these women can't think for themselves. You see, the interaction and the standpoint, no, let me rephrase that. The context in which they describe relationships is not real, but it's indicative of the fact that they have never been in productive relationships, and they don't understand that there is a level of collaboration and reciprocity and teamwork and understanding that goes on in relationships. It is not this cold and dry institution in which once you marry me, you lose all sight of things that occur throughout your life. You basically surrendered your ability to think for yourself. A lady 4747 said, I bet your granddad was still getting turned on after the 10th baby. These weak guys get turned off if the bra and panties aren't matching. I'm gonna be honest with you, a lady 740. I give a damn what color the panties are. Matter of fact, it's better when they off. I don't care if you wear panties or not. Panties or bra. I care less about that. That's funny. But we want to talk about traditional women. But traditional? Do you understand that traditional women ran shit? Traditional women in the Black community were stewards of the church, community orientated. Not only that, but in the Black community, every mother was able to discipline and hold other kids that ain't even theirs accountable, especially if they were related. You know how many times I've heard my parents say if they did something wrong, a neighbor whipped their ass, another woman saw them doing something, stealing or fighting or something. Now, I'm not saying I agree with that, but that was part of being a traditional woman. Because that's what traditional women did back in the day. They corrected and disciplined other children. We can't dare do that shit today. What's missing is the understanding that traditional women made decisions without their husbands dictating what the decision should be. Traditional women had a level of trust from their husbands to make the right decisions. This is what the manosphere doesn't understand when it comes to traditionalism that involves Black women. Traditional Black women were not Stepford wives. I'm sorry. That was not the reality. And don't you know that some of those traditional women, even though back in that time, a lot of women did not work, a large percentage did. They worked for white folks. Matter of fact, was raising their children and then trying to raise their own children. Yeah, Mr. Jason C. Activists helping in the schools, caretakers of the elderly, etc. They did it all. Traditional women were very active. Now let's talk about the modern woman, because I don't want to, make things so heavily weighted. You see, when I'm talking about some real shit, look at the numbers of the viewership don't look the same, but I get it. It's fine. So modern women are more educated, but that doesn't mean they can't operate in the same capacity. Modern women have more rights, and they grew up with more rights because back in the day, particularly in certain times, Black men and white men were the only ones who were allowed to vote. Black women today are more politically astute. Modern women are more politically astute because they have a participation not only in voting, but also all aspects of politics. Hence why we have a vice president, a female Black or / Indian vice president. Black women have always valued Black modern women have always valued education and sought education because they sought education as an avenue that basically gave them more options in case the marriage didn't work, or it was a safety net for many in case they didn't want to work. And when they decided to go to work, they wanted to work in certain fields of study. This whole thing about Black women just focusing on children, the kids in the household, a marriage is more than that. That lets me know they don't understand marriage. Those children become of age when they need less supervision from their mother. More women decided to be modern because being a modern woman involved you developing yourself so that in case something did not go right financially with men or etc., whatever things would come up, they could take care of themselves. Now, women that were more traditional probably grew up understanding that the likelihood of them working was not as needed, even in the Black community. Modern women understand that it takes more than one income to take care of a household, and most men cannot take care of an entire household on one income. The Black male average income is like $42,000. That is not enough to comfortably take care of a household of 4 or 5 people. And that's just the facts. I'm going to say that's, there's only about 5 to 6% of Black men that earn over $100,000. Now, as you look at those earning 70, 80, the percentages go up. But the percentages are not at what I consider a functional level, where no matter where a Black woman chooses to date, who they choose to date, and where the likelihood or the probability of interacting with a guy who is a high income earner, the percentages are lower. And that is one of the major issues, is that because of a variety of reasons, that is not all Black men's fault. But the outcome is that most Black men cannot afford to take care of a household of 4 or 5 people. That's just the facts. What's up, Juju? How you doing? Juju in the chat. That's just the facts. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link for anybody that want to chop it up with D Derell about the traditional women versus modern women. Modern women, from my perspective, can be just as conservative or not as conservative as traditional women. Yeah, modern women have more interests. Modern women may have more economic dreams. Modern women may be more well-rounded as far as doing a variety of things, but that's just a function of the times. That's it. That's just a function of the times. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I see my brother BMT has came up. What's up, brother? How you doing, brother? What's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? I figured if you're gonna talk about conservative, people, we're better than a conservative. So I definitely, I'm definitely here for this. So
Okay.
because
Well,
I think, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Well, my main thing is that, I'm kind of looking at like what the manosphere considers a traditional woman. And I think that they're missing the key aspects and components of what traditional women in the Black community did during those times where traditionalism was more of a social expectation. And they're not understanding that traditional women did a lot of things that did not involve waiting on the decision of men.
Right, like when I hear people in this digital space talking about I'm a conservative woman or that's a traditional woman. They use it more so as a shaming or slanderous tactic versus that of the times of looking at what's going on. And what I mean by the times, like, if she was a traditional woman, she would stay at home, do this and do that. I'm like, all right, so explain to me in history, when could you as a Black man or woman just stay home? And if you really could, what laws or privileges, advantages were they at your beck and call? Now, if you want to say something whereas to, we went to church and, what I'm saying, we made some type of family dinner or, we use certain types of state benefits to like feed the children or do X, Y, and Z, like, stuff around the house. Like, I could understand that. What I'm saying? I got a lot of memories of stuff like, if my mom was out working, my grandparents would take me to church.
Right.
But my grandma had a thrift shop. My grandma had a thrift. Yes, a woman that had a thrift shop. That was a business where she worked, that she owned. And my granddaddy went to work. And mind you, when she got off, she would probably make some dinner. But sometimes I saw my granddaddy in the kitchen cooking. Did that make him any less masculine? No. Did that make her more masculine, working and running that type of business? No. There were different roles that Black men and Black women played throughout history and time. I think we choose the nuances of that, of the circumstances, and we use that and we'll say other groups or other women or this and that or other men. But you're now looking at that of the societal wreckage that your people have been through, or how you've had to change your imagery or attire. You know what I'm saying? They'll say, well, a single mother is a moderate woman, but she's not traditional. But that could probably be, she could probably have one or two kids in the household that are very respectable, go to school, don't get in trouble with the law. She works a 9-to-5 job. What made her erratic? We're now looking at that of the progressive times of how things are changing. Laws, healthcare, and bills are being passed. Yes, I want forward things for my family. I.e., a point to that is my wife's doctor is a Black woman that brought into this world 3 of my children. Why should I have told her, hey, you need to take your Black ass home and worry about, servicing your man? No, I wanted a Black female doctor to bring my children to the world. We wouldn't have that type of forward step for Black women if those women just sat at home. But those women understood the means of the dangers that happen to a woman on the table. We have nurses. We have more. I think we have more Black women in the medical practice than we do men. It's just a thing.
Right.
We talk about family. We talk about school structures. We have more Black female teachers. We can't keep on doing well. And it's very funny how they'll come at Democrats or certain social programs when a lot of women, and I remember when I was younger, we used ABC vouchers to pay for my children's daycare because daycare was expensive, and
Right.
daycare was expensive. I'm talking some real shit. You know, and I'm a conservative, and we knew that, hey, daycare is like what, for just one child, that was like $350. Now, granted, them older ladies, they're getting older now. Them older ladies that used to watch the kid at their house and, you know, crush up some green beans and some mashed potatoes. Them ladies, hell, the states done change or the laws done change. You don't really put kids inside of the houses anymore. They take them to facilities. I mean, unless that mom could stay home. But looking at the cost, DDerell, and this is why I always push that all these so-called staunch six-figure people, like the cost of groceries and appliances and stuff, it's gone up. And people try to use it as a shaming tactic. Well, we just live off of one income. And I'm like, well, damn. Tell that to the goddamn Asian people running the goddamn nail salon with him and his wife. How did they get the traditional card or the conservative card? Yet they're both working. Or the Arabs. Everybody get the traditional, but a black woman or a black man both having to work a two-parent household, which is not unheard of, because if you want to use white folks as the stunt of American Pie, One at Home, and X, Y, and Z and shit, black folks, they really got that type of George Jefferson and Louise type of treatment. Them days that rarely happened. And even if they did happen, the woman was at home having side jobs while the man went to work. So she was working at home anyway. I know that because my daddy told me, and my grandma, she did have side jobs at the around the neighborhood. But they don't got to do that no more. They can actually go get jobs. It's just like I said, it's used as a lot of talking points, especially from a lot of men. It's the have and have-nots. It's a control of finances and of leverage. Of I make this, I got this, you wouldn't be able to get this if you did not have it for not me, the man. And that would make you, how does that make you a traditional man if you're going to use your leverage of power over that of the woman?
Right.
Because that's supposed to be the whole stance. I remember me and you had an argument with a guy, and this was something in the space that they were pushing 50-50 men. Men, this is why you got to watch out when they say, what do you bring to the table? And that was the 50-50 argument, that if I bring this half, then the woman bring that half. But if that's your woman, your wife or mate, then y'all both are contributing to the table. Y'all just have different strengths. I'm not the best when it comes to that of the numbers for the children and all the X, Y, and Z stuff of keeping up with certain details of the household. As long as I know mortgage paid, big bulk of bills are paid, I'm good. She keeps track of all the little shit and makes sure it's done. Kids stuff is done. And she works. Sometimes she come home, hey, I'm going to make some boiled hot dogs and chili dogs and french fries for me and you and the kids. Great. Shit. Make me 3 hot dogs, chili dogs, and some french fries. But she need to be home and cook a home cooked meal. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all right now. I can't speak for everybody. But when y'all are getting into what would it be, a doggone pattern of a lifestyle, you're going to set up certain things. Maybe she might fold the clothes, you cut the grass. You know what I'm saying? My old lady, she likes to cook. I do other things around the house that she can't do, like change the air filters and shit. Or the boys, and after a while, the kids start picking up on the chores. You know what I'm saying? This whole they the slave or the modern, they just want the modern slave, while the man come home. And then that's honestly what it's been turned into. It's been turned into the modern slave conversation. She cook, she clean, she do X, Y, and Z around the house. And what you don't understand about that, and this is why you got to be careful how you follow white men or other groups. When it comes to court cases, that is a talking point that could be used against you, the man, saying, well, it's all she does is cook and clean and X, Y, and Z. That is a job at the house. That is a job. So if her household job is that and you divorce her, you got to pay her. You got to pay her out for that because that's all she's been doing, and you're removing her from the atmosphere. You know,
Right.
so you gotta be definitely careful. That's why I tell a lot of men when they say, "Well, I don't want my wife to work; she needs to stay at home." I mean, if it's talking about when the children, you know, the pregnancy, you know, is going on. Yeah, I understand that. Or until the babies are big enough. You know what I'm saying? But aside from that, nah, boo. Like especially up and coming black folks, like a lot of black people like to work. I mean, a lot of black men and women, they do like making money. They like
Right.
going on trips. They like actually having access to certain stuff. Hey, maybe we want to save up, get our credit together, get a home, or get a new car. You know what I'm saying? You stand a better chance with two incomes rather than just you know
One.
going off of one. And you know what I'm saying? And I guess when you try to talk to people about these kind of things, you know what I'm saying? Because it over behooves them. It over behooves them. Most successful men, their wives do work. Or they link up with women that do have something going on for themselves. Not no trophy wife. Those trophy wives are very rare. Most successful men I know, they're not. Their wives are either soccer moms or have something of a working as a in a store department manager. They're doing a 9 to 5. Somebody got to go get the kids, send them to grandma's house or the next door neighbor's house. And you know what I'm saying? We can get to a school function. Hell, I got to go to a school function tomorrow. She got
Okay.
work tomorrow. I got the school function.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Juju for the $10 cash app. Appreciate that, sis. Appreciate you for supporting the Rebirth channel. So what you're really speaking of is what's practical as
Yes,
being.
sir.
See, they don't understand the practicality of what a traditional woman is versus a modern woman, and like the reality should be this: most black men cannot afford to take care of a family of 4 or 5 with one income. That to me is just of it. Like if we want these things, then you're gonna have to make $80,000 to $100,000
Yes,
plus. That's
yes,
so. See, the issue is that you want. Look, listen. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with a traditional woman if you can find one that's totally traditional, in which there are some available. But you keep talking about what you want, but you're not talking about what you're going to have as a foundation to get what you want. You see, if you want a traditional woman, then you're going to have the money of a traditional man. You see, the difference then, traditional men took care of the home because they could afford to work. But now, if you want to be traditional in 2023, well, you're going to have to make $80,000 to $125,000. So
correct.
if we're going to have this discussion, I don't want to hear nothing about the median income is 42,000. That's enough to take. No, it's not.
Really ain't. It's not. You're
Not
not
to
doing no
look.
thing.
Not listen. And this is something that I've heard women in the and I don't want to talk about other communities, but in the Hispanic community, that's an issue where they have men who make $35,000-$40,000 want their women to stay at home. Now they live a little different than black folks, so they don't. We like to spend. We like to do shit. We like to show off. I'm just you know how black folks are when they got a little money.
I understand. I do understand.
We want Gucci, we want Prada, we want Louis, we want to go and do black people like to do stuff. Black people, like the Hispanic community, may not spend a bunch of money on clothes. They don't even like to go out and eat. And if they going out to eat, they're eating as a family. They prefer eating. Their eating habits is more about cooking at home, as far as dinner and stuff like that. They have different spending patterns. I know I'm learning it right now because my dollar store right now is catered towards the African, the Hispanic community. I got 90% of, I'm gonna say 80% of my my customers don't even speak English that well. So I'm learning that the patterns are different. What's up, Brown Ellie? I'm glad to see you up in here for the first time. Welcome to the Conscious Clientele. Appreciate you. I watch you from the clouds on your channel. Definitely digging your content. So, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but I see that's the thing about it. Like, I hate that. We don't do this. We don't do that. We don't. All we do is spend, spend, spend. And I'm like, listen, man. Like, we got two different diasporas of spending habits. You know what I'm saying? Like, or how we maneuver. And I think this is it's like some kind of like flex to poverty or how people are. I don't see nobody shame no Latino men when they be buying all them damn trucks and all them damn loud ass speakers and shit. Nobody shames them. And trust me, I know I don't say nothing when they buy their stuff or when they buy their on Friday and Saturday, they out there buying beer. Oh, they buy a lot of beer and shit. And yes, they do spend amongst themselves.
They sure do.
They spend amongst themselves.
Very much. Very much.
Blacks for the most part, we are American. So we spend we kind of doggone put our money more so to another. It would be nice if we did. Oh, well, buy black for black. Okay, cool. And when it comes to that, majority, and I'm gonna show you this. Majority of I don't see no black women running into no Latina salons to get their hair done. They go to They go to a lot of black women on Facebook, Instagram, to go get their hair and their stuff done. Most black men go to barbershops or go to certain black functions to go get their stuff done. It's just that we have different spending habits. Clothing wise. And this is something I always call out a lot of men on this shit. For the most part, a lot of women take their kids school shopping. The man or the man in their life or the husband or the father usually gives the money to that mother and she'll go school shopping. No, she takes them just go get weave or just no. But that's what I'm there on the first day of school. The women be listen. It's hell on earth seeing a bunch of watching a bunch of women going in there. Sometimes the man will probably be tagging along. Half the time I'm gonna be honest, we don't know what the fuck we doing. We just what do you want to put in the cart? What do we need to get? I'd be clueless, D Derell. I don't be like, no, you get this, you get that. I don't be knowing my damn kids' sizes. I don't know the damn shoes and shit. All I know, hey, I got the money. Cool. What do we need? If we can get it for the right then and there, cool. I know I gotta take the boys go get their haircuts. The girls need to go get their hair braided up. Right. Not no sit there like, listen, for your wife, for our wife to sit there and have to do. I know you got daughters. That takes time to braid all that damn hair. Versus you could just go pay somebody that is proficient in that craft to do it. You just pay somebody to go do it. They got a lot of, and this is something that y'all don't know. There are more women that I have seen do back to school events for children than I have seen the men.
Right.
They do that. Y'all want to push against me on that one, or any type of man that says we need to lead? Well, then, brothers, y'all need to go start doing back to school events. Y'all need to start doing stuff to actually get the women, and they will come. If it's something that deals with school supplies, book bags, stuff that help these kids get back into the school, yeah, go by that school and go grab them school lists. I can promise you, when it comes to accountability, them niggas will shut up. Oh, listen, get that to Brownie or give that to Faith. That's the mom. Let her take care of that. They'll pass that buck off real quick. And you and I both know. Ask how many black fathers are there the first day of school. That's all you got to ask. How many of y'all know y'all kids' school teacher? How many of y'all actually know their curriculums like that? Don't give me no goddamn bullshit talk. Give me the real talk. And that's the thing about it. Like, when we talk about the roles and stuff, there's a lot of stuff going at play and everything. Well, teach your children. Okay, then I'll tell you what, you cover the deficit of the amount of money I would make going to work. So that way I could be at home teaching the kid.
Right.
Most black men don't make that type of money. And that's not taking no shot or no dig. It's just reality. Where I am today with the amount of money I made, I was not making that type of money 10 to 15 years ago. Hell no. I was working, goddamn, busting my ass like goddamn slavery good times. Sometimes I fell asleep in the goddamn car. The girl had to wake my ass up. Joe, come on in the house. Come on in the house. You fell asleep in the car again. But we here now. And that's the thing about it is they don't talk. They just talk about the you know, it's like a slavery goddamn type of relationship. You do X, Y, and Z, like where you are now in your life. In your life right now, your old lady, your wife, excuse me, I call them old ladies. Y'all, no offense. That we weren't there. We weren't there at first. It took time and build up. And it amazes me. People think that somehow 30,000, 40,000 is enough to holistically take care of a family. I heard a man tell me that what's wrong with a child sleeping on their mattress? I said, you out of your fucking mind. They literally they were literally debating me about a child sleeping on an air mattress.
Men with no children. That shows
no children. You can see that's a thing about it. You can see that's these arguments are being overtaken by men with no children. And then they'll start talking about third world country or like people that why do they gotta do this or why do they gotta do that? Just ask them the question like, okay, so what's your answer? Go buy the bed, buy the mattress, go get the cleaning products. These things takes a graduated team effort. And when you talk to men of balance and experience, they start saying dumb shit. There are a lot of men that are surrogate fathers. They're not the actual father, and they still take care of the woman and the child. There's a lot of men that get with single mothers. I know y'all don't like that one, but nobody says anything about white men that be doing that shit, and they do that shit a lot. But it's just a black woman that is predominantly the single mother when it's literally and that's just a thing about it. That's just a thing about it when you talk about traditional or you're talking about certain accountability of the system of the system. Like a lot of black men have fought or are not stepping to play. And this is not me beating up on the men.
It's just
right. It's just a fact of just looking at it for what it is.
Right. So I want to give a shout out to Mr. Jason C for the $10 cash app. Appreciate it, brother. Definitely appreciate you for supporting the Rebirth channel. Go ahead, brother.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like I said, man. When it comes to getting involved with policies and politics, you know what I'm saying, brothers. A lot of black men kind of vote more so around that of what the women and elderly vote around. That's how we've been doing politics. We kind of voted more towards that of family. What do y'all need? Well, we need this for school. We need this for healthcare. Man, that's that Democrat shit. But no, that's family. We're trying to find out, what does grandma need? What does mama need? What does your children need? All of a sudden, then they start talking that conservative shit. But conservative is just that of trying to keep a lifestyle, a certain type of contained lifestyle for that of your family, a contained lifestyle, which a lot of them cannot even uphold a lifestyle for their child and the woman, but they want control. We're not going back to Raisins in the Sun. If you ever seen that, we're not going back. Quit asking women that they need to go back. Nobody going back to 1950 shit. I damn sure don't. My daughters damn sure ain't. You know, I know DDerell's children ain't.
No. And so I think she asked a good question. Juju said, here you need to be very fruitful with your money. That's why people here get into these toxic relationships to use each other. And I agree with that. People get into toxic relationships to take from other people on things they can't do for themselves. No?
Yeah, that is a thing. But I would ask the question this. I would ask the question this, and this is something I want to ask about. As a man, am I not expected that I am taking from the woman and she's going to take from me at some point? I provide a lifestyle for her. She provides certain lifestyle and availability, sexual, mental, for me. Is that
Right.
not something that we're like? That's just how y'all. That's just how a relationship is. It's a give and take. You think us brothers want to go run and go pick up shit at the store when we come, babe? I need you to go get this, get that. God damn! Didn't I just spend money on this and that? Hey, you want to eat tonight? All right, shit. I'll stop by Popeyes.
Right.
You don't do it, somebody else got to do it. Shit. So it's going to be a give and take. I do say there is a lot of people using people. Men use women. Women use men. You are very fair in that. I think that is a very true statement.
Right. And the thing about it, man, look, the reality is this whole thing about the single mother situation, that shit is all cap. As we have learned, there have been Negroes who have been low key simping on some of these single mothers. So that's all cap. That's cap, man. That listen, man. I've always said every man has their own threshold as far as how many children they willing to, work. Like some men, if a woman got 1 or 2 kids, they good. That's their max. Some men don't care at all. Some got 3. Some men, they may not want a woman that has children because they don't have children. But if you got 2 or 3 kids, you can't demonize a woman for having 2 or 3 kids if you got 2 or 3 kids. I'm sorry.
And that's a thing. And that is a thing. That is definitely a thing.
Right. You got 4 kids and gonna say, well, I don't want a woman who's a single mother. Nigga, please. But you gonna want, if you marry her, then you want her to be stepmother to those 4 kids.
Right.
So and so they try to present this scenario that encompasses it's always the other way around, where it's the guy that don't have no children and the woman got 4 kids. No, it can go either way. And so this whole myth about 52% of men are single with no children, that's a goddamn lie. Because those that don't have children are usually younger guys between 18 and 25. Once you get the mid 20s to late 30, that changes. So if you don't have a kid, of course, you don't have a kid at 18, you may have a kid at 27. We need to really quit lying. And the miseducation is the problem. A lady 747 said, we know they lying. Yes, they are lying. But my position is this. And see, this is a thing. I actually got into it with BGS over this. BGS sat there on I think it was a Miri channel. I don't know if it was somebody channel, and sat there and lied and said the average black man or his viewer is making $80,000 to $85,000 plus.
That's false. The average black household don't even make close to 70,000, and that's no shot or dig. But literally, you can look it up. Like, I hate when y'all use that. Yeah, listen, y'all, stop using that black demographic shit. That shit's out of date. Y'all do know that shit it has not been updated, right? It has not been updated. Like, y'all really need to stop using. But I wish y'all niggas would have never found that damn website. That shit is like somebody made that damn website. That shit has not been updated. It's out of date. And it's not telling the whole fallacy of what's going on.
Right.
Y'all need to go ahead, brother.
No, you're right. Because I'm telling BGS, like, matter of fact, I did a live stream earlier this week about blackdemographics.com and the CDC. And I'm like, this is to me two of the most heavily quoted sites. Now the CDC does update their statistics, but the CDC also, which they overlook, they don't look at how the CDC collect the data, and the CDC
Right.
lets you know that there's a lot of issues that occur with computing that data and collecting it because of using all these different states, and they don't turn the information in. The information may not be reliable. You know, they make you aware of that, but they just going by rare numbers.
One of the things about it, and I would ask you this question: How many when they do this CDC thing? Actually, I want y'all, and I want y'all to really think about this. And DDerell, you think you know how many black men are homeowners by themselves?
Not many.
Actually, how many black women, single mothers, are homeowners?
It's a little bit more. That's actually a rising demographic in women buying their own homes.
So the conversation. Yes, go ahead, brother.
No, what I was going to say is, as a whole, as a community, it's not a good percentage. But black women, there are more black women 10 years ago owning their own homes than it is now. I mean, there's more women now owning their homes as single women as opposed to 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Now, in saying that, and I bring this up, y'all, and I bring this up because I just when I just bought this next house, I was very one of my neighbors is a travel nurse. It's just her and her daughter. Ain't no damn man in sight unless her boyfriend come by. Now, mind you, I don't bother them with her man coming by and shit like that. But that's her crib. I don't see no man trying to tell her this is my castle and that. Like, I'm sorry, y'all brothers, these dudes. Would you say that she's not traditional, or she got that house because of welfare? Like that welfare trope thing is starting to run out, man. Like it's really running. It's running a dead horse. And this is me telling y'all, like and here's the thing: a lot of Republican conservatives make their billions off of them doggone programs. A lot of them. Walmart, as red, white, and blue conservative as it is, benefits off of welfare programs.
Facts. Many of them, and they get all kind of credits for hiring people with disabilities.
Right. Like a lot of stuff. Like a lot of these programs, a lot of these school things or programs and stuff. They're conservative. They're conservative, but they benefit off of social programs that we push against that of why are progressive minority women benefits and stuff that our women and children were kept out of. You know what I'm saying? Why are they in those programs? I need to go look it up about black boys with ADHD or they having problems with reading and stuff. And I know we'll say, well, that's the mama's fault. That's the mama's fault. We'll say that shit. Okay, but you'll act. Then I'll say, well, where's the daddy? Where daddy at? Daddy, when the last time you read to your child at nighttime? Well,
Right.
that's mama's job. That's a parent job.
Facts.
It's always, well, mama supposed to raise the child, then give it up. Your child not no damn monkey, and ain't no damn gorilla. That's a whole human being.
See what they fail to understand. Now, mom raised the child till 8 or 9, but you still have to be influential in that child's life to respect you, even if they make 8, 9, or 10 when they come to you. You can't have a lack of raising a child and just think that all reins just go and that child just going to effortlessly, respect and honor you if you have to be involved in a child's life for that to be effective. You can't be an absentee father and expect a child to just adjust to moving into. Number one, the child will move and go to a different school. Not only a different school, different friends. You disrupted their life. They mad about that. You know, they ain't seen you that much. Now all of a sudden they got to see you every day. They got to adjust to different rules. So that's not really a healthy way of, you know, raising a child. The only thing I can see that would make it is if you have to be involved heavily in that child's life, and that child is routinely seeing you. I mean, every weekend or 3 to 4 days a week to make that a smooth transition. Because I'm like, why move a kid out of their comfort zone just on the mere fact that now you want to play dad? You know, that's not how it works.
Well, this is but I had the discussion with a man. Asked, and they were like, the coach just always give the child to the woman, and the man, he just gets put on child support. And I said, well, brother, I don't know when the last time you might need to update your talking point, because men are getting children. And it's crazy because y'all believe it or not, we have a lot of men in this space. Jay Shine has a child. OJ Speed has his child. I don't even understand Charles Faulkner, but Charles Faulkner has his child. But he talks about single mothers, but that's a conversation for another day. There are a lot of men that have their children. Ty City has his child. There's a lot of black men that do have their children. Okay. There's a lot of black men in here that had a child. Now, unless the court just happened to make a mistake, and just, you have it now where the courts now, and this is why I'm saying, y'all, people don't understand the family courts or how it works, man. Is looking at that of the betterment of the child. And I know we can always pull out the worst case scenario shit, but now they're looking at they ask about your income, the hours of availability, who knows more about the child's routines and day-to-day life. And this is a dirty secret a lot of people don't tell you. A lot of men only take their kid to avoid child support.
Oh, definitely. Oh, that
it
happens a lot.
It ain't. I gotta save my baby so that way he'll be safe. It's shit. Give me my kid, mama. Can you hold on to the kid, or they'll try to find another woman to go take the kid. Versus that of the woman, like, okay, let me get my kid, and we'll just have to we'll use whatever fuck we did. But then we know you ain't gonna do shit.
Right. Now, when it comes to that, this is an issue that I have, and this is not only with this space, but YouTube. They take the most extreme issues with child support and child custody. They're using right now, the big story is about Tyrese. Now, my position is this. What's up, Josephine?
They use Tyrese, dumbass.
No, but see, this is the problem. Now, and this is where Tyrese was stupid. First of all, Tyrese makes a lot of money, and and you now see, and this is where these guys talking about, well, I can't marry, I ain't gonna marry, because you're not making Tyrese money. Tyrese and people of that ilk have a whole different set of circumstances. This man makes probably anywhere between $300,000 to $500,000 a month or more, just off the residuals of Fast and the Furious and other shit that he's done. He's making that amount of money, or $1 million or more. And for you to make that kind of money and give a woman $2,500 was cheap. Now, I'm not saying
that's all you got to give her.
Let me tell the story. These niggas got mad because the judge felt he should have been given $10,000 instead of $2,500, and the judge did because they split up 2 years ago. The judge did retroactive pay for 2 years, so he has to make up like $8,000 per month for the last 2 years. On top of that, he has to pay, I think from this point on, he's going to have to pay $10,000 a month. Now, yes, to the average Joe Smo, $10,000 a month, that's $120,000 a year plus, okay? Yes, I understand. The woman, that lady he was with was making $150K a month, a year, right? While even when she was working, when she was with him, she had several degrees. She made $150K, which is not bad. But the problem is that her $150K was minuscule compared to him to Tyrese making $3 to $5+ million a year. So yeah, she made nice money, but she wasn't making Tyrese money.
Right. So, she wasn't making Tyrese money.
So this whole sympathy thing about Tyrese having to pay $10,000 a month when he shortchanged her for 2 years, only paying 20. I can afford that's I don't know where near me. I could afford to pay a woman a kid $2,000 a month child support. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I can afford it, I don't know where near make the money Tyrese made. So how the hell you gonna sit here and act like you've been slated by the government?
Like, listen, man, this is why you get it with the peanut gallery, where they always use the 6 millionaire man's talking point. They'll talk about the millionaire when most niggas can't afford a pair of goddamn shoes or some shit. And you know, you have to ask the question, why is that? And we've seen this before, brother DDerell. Remember when they used Chris Brown on child support? And like, I'm like, nigga, y'all are not Chris Brown. Y'all are not Ludacris. You're not Future. You're not goddamn Russell. Like, I'm gonna be honest, y'all niggas couldn't even shop in some of the areas where they shop. Like, they would never have a conversation with you. Like, they're looking at the tax bracket. If y'all complaining about $100 going out to eat, nigga, please shut the fuck up. Please, damn. Like, I'm saying, like, they're not having tangible arguments. Plus, also, I think what they were bragging about, well, the children. I think she had a child for Tyrese. She had a child.
Yes,
they don't look at. So they had a child that she's raising the child, and X, Y, and Z. Nobody ever puts these type of things into retrospect, especially they go to YouTube lawyer court rather than actually tangible. Go actually have a tangible relationship. Nobody ever tells how did these people fell apart. They just said it's the man's fault, or it's just that woman's fault. They don't ever tell the inner windings of what really going on. And we don't know. We only could assume off of their story what really went on. I'm saying it's not like we're going to actually be inside of there and actually hear what went on about the infidelity, or, you know, well, even if he cheats, mind you, that was a talking point, because, you know, motherfuckers like using, well, if a man cheats, he's a rich man, so he should be able to do that. Keep that same talking point, nigga. Keep that same talking.
Tyrese, I did the research. Tyrese made $2 million a year. So you make $2 million a year, and you was giving your wife $2,500 and kid $2,500 to live off of.
Oh, so he was cheap as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, you did this to yourself, man. Like, how you gonna give your wife and kid $2,500 when you making basically $2 million a year is basically $166,000 a month, and you gave them $2,500.
So you know how many? That's a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and goddamn Happy Meals.
So basically, the judge ordered. Actually, he's getting a good deal because the judge ordered him to pay $10,000, which is less than 10% of his income.
Mind you, that's in Georgia. I hope y'all know that's in Georgia. So
yeah, he living in Georgia, you know. But at the same, But my position is you're paying 8 to 9% of your income to your kid. That's not a lot.
I told you, bro. If they can avoid, if some of these people could go back to barefoot and pregnant and put that damn woman back in chains, they will do it. Y'all better pray. Y'all wonder why women go so hard at that ballot box, because they know there's one woman, there's 10 ain't shit men waiting to put that bitch right back in chain, boy. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Listen, saying winter is coming, that was a dusty talking point. that was a dusty talking point of ashy dust and baby powder, if I heard some, because you're wanting that of society. And mind you, you're wanting society to crumble upon that of the women and the children. You know what I'm saying? I've heard men say, if the woman's going to use a food stamp, then she should starve. Her and her should starve. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, wait. Where are we going with this? Because other groups and other communities, mind you, the small hats, they don't mind using the state the states to doggone get ahead. I see them at Sam's Club swiping them damn cards. Oh yes, I do see them motherfuckers. They ain't got no shame. They smile like that's a platinum card, elite. Y'all gotta understand. It is, man. Like this shaming tactic. Well, they should be moderate or how many children and stuff. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I supported my wife when for birth control. I supported her for that. I know how some people are BMT, women shouldn't. No, dude, no. Give her body a rest. I'm pulling out a little bit of my business. I give her body, baby. We got 4 children. We can stop. We good.
Yeah, like really, to be honest with you, a woman once having a child, you should wait at least 2 years before you have another child. At least to give your body a rest, man. You should not be having children year by year and stuff. You got to give your body a rest. And it's nothing wrong with women being on birth control and things like that. As a matter of fact, it's really not our decision. That's their decision how they want to, I mean, even as a husband, I do think you have the right to influence and to give your perspective. At the end of the day, that's her body. She, is going to make that decision. She can make decisions. I don't want to be on birth control. Right. But that's, at the end of the day, that's her body. And we have to respect that as men. But to see the thing about it, like you said, you gave a suggestion to your wife, and she thought it and acted accordingly. And see, what they don't understand is that's how marriages get things done. That's how productive marriages operate. People communicate, they give their perspectives, and then we make decisions on that. It's no situation where I'm dictating and making you and forcing you against your will and all that kind of stuff. And that's not how productive marriages operate. Mm-hmm. So in their perspective, they expect you to say, because you're supposed to be this masculine man and she's supposed to be this, look, you my wife. And if I tell you not to go to a doctor and get birth control, you're not doing it because I say so. That's just not.
That's not plausible. It's not like, and that's the thing about it, brother. A lot of listen, man. At the end of the day, it's gonna be that woman, her body, on that damn table, and them 2 people are gonna be fighting for their lives. And ain't no amount of masculinity you think you got, nigga, or is going to stop that process. If she were to say, or indeed DDerell could tell you, if our wives were to say, hey, I don't want this person in the delivery room with me, guess what? You getting out of there, bro. You getting out of there. It don't matter what you got to say. If they feel that she's in a threatening mindset, sir, you can either walk out with dignity and sit outside, or we can go call security. Your move. And I
Right.
hope to God you don't say no goddamn red pill manosphere shit. Oh yeah, they're gonna get your ass to the upper room. They're gonna get your ass up out of there.
That's
That
funny.
that is a life or death situation. And see, that's the thing about it. People aren't thinking clearly about these type of things that could cause permanent damage. You know what I'm saying, to the child or to the mother. You know what I'm saying. But you're hearing that, why the women are fighting so hard about that of the womb and shit. Well, looking at the everlasting dead, most women, and they can tell you in your chat, DDerell, some women still have some type of permanent effect of done to them, whether they back their some of their bladder or something like that. I don't know, but I definitely sit in there. I got to listen and educate myself of the stuff that my wife. I said, hold on, I did not know about gestational diabetes. And my wife's like, yeah, Joe, like shit, 2 babies in. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, girl. What do I got to do? Like, what do we need? Get me some orange juice. Give me this, give me that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing about it. Like, we got your functionality as a man is to take care of your family. She provides your children, your legacy. You take care. And this is why we keep hearing this old shit. As an older man, you can just make as many babies with a younger woman and some shit like that. And I go, oh God, here we go. You talking about playing those type of roles is dumb as fuck. You like raising children. That's
Right.
I got feedback. Raising children, it has a take of running around, rearing the children, X, Y, and Z. That's a 2-parent effort. Now, sometimes we don't get it lucky where both parents can both do that, but that is a 2-parent effort that does not be taken seriously. And you shouldn't. I hear this shit that, well, even if the man does not want to do that, or sometimes you got the woman, you can't force a parent to be a parent. I don't know why I
Right.
keep hearing this dumbass argument of, well, we should just leave that or whatever system. But literally, I mean, back in the day, I don't think that's the thing. But when people talk about the traditional system, they would have just killed you or blown your brain out or beat you to death if you didn't take care of that child. Now, there's a reason. There's a reason why we had to start making a system, because there was a lot of men getting their brain blown out or getting their arms broken. So you might want to have gone with that system versus that of somebody, using that of a conventional means to force you to be a father. I mean, who wants to have a gun loaded to the back of their brain to force them to say yes versus that of a man saying to the guy, say, listen, bro, you pay such amount of money. Like somebody said, you pay $800 a month in child support. That does not mean you paying $800 every goddamn. No, it's broken up in payments. It's broken up in fucking payments. They look at your income. If you show up to court and you submit that, okay, this is what I can do. Okay, most men do not pay that type of money. Most men pay like what, $500, $600.
Yeah, something like that. Definitely. So is that Miss Sunkiss?
It's me.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
What we talking about?
We're talking about traditional women versus modern women.
What should a father do if a man is staring at his wife or baby mama while she feeding?
No, Miss Sunkiss, we're not doing this. Come on, baby.
Yes, we is.
No, baby, we're not.
Yes,
We're not. No.
I want to know. What you
No, we're not doing this.
Traditional stuff, right?
No.
I think this is a valid question.
No, you're being messy right now. Stop.
I'm not being messy. I'm being real.
No.
We're talking about manosphere and all
okay.
of this shit.
I'm gonna ask you a question. So we're gonna okay. Now, as for yourself, do you think, as far as yourself, when you think about the modern woman and the traditional woman? Do you think you are one or the other, or you're a mixture of both?
I think I'm a hybrid.
You're a hybrid. Okay, explain that to me. What do you like? In what ways?
Well, one, I'm a homemaker.
Okay.
Most women don't do that anymore. They gonna get a career. They gonna
Well, most women in our community don't have a husband. So
I mean, we can go there
that
too.
also affects it. That also influences that too.
It does influence that, but I don't think the women got much control over that most of the time.
What do you
Sometimes they
mean?
do, because, well, you know, a man got to get down on one knee and ask you for your hand, and if he doesn't do that, then well, you don't get no marriage. So you know. But
Wait a minute,
what?
Wait, now, Miss Sunkiss, are
Mm-hmm.
you saying that black men are not getting on their knees in the proper manner? Because a lot of people don't even do the traditional route of getting married. They basically just go to the justice of the peace and they discuss it. Particularly
I
those
went to
who've
the
been
justice of the peace, but I was still proposed to.
okay. I went to justice of the peace too, but I proposed to my wife. So you
Right.
saying that? So you saying that now? Are you talking about the generations now, or are you talking about previous generations, or in the last 20, 30 years that don't want to get on their knees to propose?
Well, I haven't heard, you know, too many men that have said that they proposed to a woman. You know, they be like, these bitches ain't worth marriage. And be like, oh, but they work for
Yeah,
babies.
but we talking about men that can't even get a date though. That's you
Well,
gotta
I don't
get.
understand. If you can't get no date, how you get a baby?
That's a good question.
Then none of this don't make no sense. None of this makes sense at all. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Everybody's crazy. Everybody's insane.
well. I'm gonna say this. A lot of women don't require dates.
Yep.
They cool with net. They cool with Netflix and chilling.
Just go straight to the house and fuck. Yeah,
And I mean,
that's fine.
that's his fault.
That's his
Whose
That's his
fault.
fault?
fault. Yeah,
That's both fault.
no, that's his fault. If he the
Okay.
dumbass is gonna give up his sperm to a woman that don't want him, and she gonna tax his ass with child support and whatever else she can get out of his ass
Wait,
for the
hold
next
on. Wait.
18 to 26
Wait.
years, then that's his fault. His mama did not prepare him, and neither did his daddy. Cause my son already knows. So if you like your money, do not give a bitch your sperm.
So
At all.
one of the things about it that when it comes to these kind of situations, one is being able to get that man or get his information, especially when it comes to these things, because there's a lot of people that think that, you know, whenever they try to get these men for child support, which we do have a content creator who literally, if you can dodge that of being served the paperwork, I mean, they could try to come after you, but if you don't have the information, if you don't know their name, if you don't know their information like that, you can't just put child support on something that you don't know their name or their background information. Now, the thing about it is it takes two to tango. And one of the things about it is this is why a lot of women are opting out of pregnancy or not getting pregnant. This is, I mean, literally at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, shout out to Plan B. A lot of people are going there. Men will go there, buy the girl Plan B or a day after pill or stuff like that. But most of the time, it's only just that one person's fault. It takes two.
Right, you.
So it's not really just a one sided,
These
just
niggas ain't
that person's
proposing.
fault.
Okay, like that's just it. And then some of the dudes that do propose, the women, they be choosing the wrong chicks. Cause like I done seen some of the most despicable heifers sit up here and talk about their collection of engagement rings. I'm like, what's wrong with every nigga that proposed to you? Cause there's just listening to you, bitch. You ain't got no business being nobody's wife. You is not wife material at all. But all these niggas want to marry your head. What the hell for?
Now, Miss Sunkiss, Miss Queen.
Yeah.
Now you do
Yeah.
understand, being that you are a married woman, you are the minority in this sector, just like me and BMT. So you're going to be looked at a certain way no matter what you say. Now I know you've been around a long time. You should know
Yeah.
that, like,
I do.
because when you say something as a single person,
Mm-hmm.
that could be a single woman could say exactly what you're saying, and they get a certain reaction. But being that you know and you show receipts of the home, what you're doing, you got to understand you're gonna get a different reaction when you say certain things.
Okay. What that mean?
What that mean is that you saying that, but you're gonna get. I mean, I get what you're saying, whether it's true or not, but you're gonna get certain pushback by
I mean, they
saying.
can push back all they want to. The proof is in the pudding. My pudding look good.
You what?
I said they can say. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. It kind of faded out a little bit, but go ahead.
Oh, I said they can push back all they want to. The proof is in the pudding, and my pudding looks good. So you can listen to me, or you can keep listening to these bald head hoes.
Come on, you on what?
So,
You know what I'm saying?
okay. So there's a nuance of a thing, DDerell, that people believe just because they're married that it's a high ground point or talking or usage. Like you could be married and just excuse me. So you could be
No, you're not
married.
excused at all, because I
So,
don't like this
excuse me. Hold on. Wait. Can you wait. Hold on, dude. This is not your panel. This is not your panel. This is not
Hold
your
on,
panel,
Queen.
dude.
Let him
It
speak.
ain't my panel, but I'm here.
This is not your
Hold
panel.
on, Queen. Let him
This is not
speak.
your panel, dude.
It ain't my panel, but I'm here.
Listen, it's not your panel. Okay, that's
But I'm
congratulations.
here. But I'm here.
What does that mean?
I'm here. It ain't my panel. I know it ain't my
Okay.
panel. You know it ain't my panel, so you ain't need to state it. But you can continue with your
Listen,
point.
listen. Are
Miss
you gonna
Queen. Hold on,
disrupt the
BMT.
conversation?
Hold on, BMT. Miss Queen, come on now, baby. We
Nah,
we gotta have a cordial interaction. We not
well,
gonna
he
do
need
this.
to quit throwing shots.
No,
What the hell are you talking about? What shots
Okay.
was being thrown?
No,
What the hell are you
BMT,
talking about, dude?
BMT. I got this,
Yo,
brother.
dude.
I got it. Come on, baby. We you better than this. Let's have a discussion, okay?
I'm not. I'm childish as hell. So is, but I'm gonna be good.
Okay, go ahead, BMT.
Right. So the thing about it is, we've seen already enough that one of the talking points of people being married, but they're not actually holistic, like family members of abuse. Of they're not like the father's not doing what he's supposed to do, or the mother is not actually living up to her standard, and they'll say, "Well, I'm married," or X, Y, and Z, or I'm this and that, and then you'll notice that they're not actually wholesome parents, and that actually can actually um, keep other. This is why you're seeing a lot of you listen to some of these kids that don't want nothing to do with actually having a family because they were like, you know what, I saw how my dad was with my mom, or I saw how my mom we didn't have the best reaction or realistic relationship. You know, these things because you could be married and still be a piece of shit parent or be a piece of shit um, lover or mate. And this is something that is not accounted for as a leverage of saying that they're married. Some people get married just for that of the benefits or just that of the status, but they actually don't live by that of the accountability versus that of DDerell. When we talk about the lifestyle, because you'll have some men say, "Well, look at my wife," or one will say, "Well, look at my husband," but they're not actually fulfilling that of their obligated goals. And people would ask the question, why? Well, what do you mean? Like, this is my wife; she cook and clean, but you're actually not a good husband. You're not a good mate. Or a woman say, well, I got a man, but then she's still out there in the streets. And this is where you start seeing those video clips, or you'll
Anywho,
start seeing
it's
those.
too many single people
Excuse me,
having
excuse me.
conversations
I didn't cut you
about
off, dude. I
relationships,
really did.
Come on,
and I'm
Miss
tired of y'all
Sunkist.
Like,
sitting
listen, man, DDerell, I'm being real respectful on your panel, bro. Like,
I
I'm
know.
really being real respectful,
I'm
man.
muting her.
Like,
I'm muting her.
seriously,
Come
bro,
on, Miss Sunkist. Come
I'm
on
really
now.
being real respectful, man.
Go ahead.
That's 3 times, bro. So the thing about it is, and this is something that we've seen on different shows and streams of people who are parents but are not taking care of their children or not actually doing their proper parent diligence, and it puts a bad streak or a name on that of a marriage or a lifestyle versus somebody saying, "Yo, I might as well just raise my kid alone than actually be with that man or woman," and they'll encourage them to go back to that relationship regardless of the dangers of that of the child or the individual. Go ahead, bro.
Now go. You good?
No.
Okay.
I know. I mean, you can go on. I mean, I'm not hogging the mic.
No. I'm telling. We not doing this tonight. We're not gonna be arguing. We're not gonna do no jabs.
All I'm saying is it's too many people
No.
trying to delegitimize people being married, and it's too many non-married single people leading these conversations about this fake ass gender war, because a gender war doesn't exist. It's just a bunch of unhealed people that need to go to therapy. So yes, I'm going to always advocate. I don't care if the marriage is toe up. They married. They doing it together. I don't care. It's too many single people not doing it together. It's too many stats out here that say what it look like when you're not doing it together. So I ain't gonna condone dysfunction just because there are some bad seeds, because you're gonna always have bad seeds. Go find some married people to listen to. They know better than these single folks.
Right, I agree with that. I actually me and BMT have made that argument, and they told me I didn't know what I was talking about. So I've ran out of patience telling people what they think they know about marriage and they never been married. So that I also got, like you said, this is on YouTube. People like have these perspectives, and I'm at a point where I can't fight with Negroes that don't want to hear the truth. You know, they have to find out from life experience. That's where I'm at. What's up, brother? Speak.
Hey, D Derell, what's going on, man?
I'm good, man. What's on your mind? We talking about traditional women, and
What about a
modern women, and
What's
you
up,
know,
BP? Miss Sun Kids, what's going on?
Hey, Rose Speaks, how are you?
I'm all right. Um, yeah, as far as modern women and traditional women, I mean, let's face it, there's not going to be a lot of traditional women out here. The environment has changed, the economics has changed to the point
right,
where it's going to be very difficult for a woman to be a traditional woman. And just like it's very hard for a man to be a traditional man,
right,
because it's mainly goes back to economics. It's very hard. It's very hard for a man to make the type of money for a woman to stay at home and take care of the children without working, doing some type of work,
right,
bringing some type of money in. So, and it's best that we just, whatever we are doing, that we equally yoke. Whatever
right.
you decide to do, whatever roles that you want to have in the household, make sure that's up front and
Mm-hmm.
everybody know what it is. The problem that I see a lot of times is that nobody's up front with what roles they want to play, and they wait till, oh, we got the rings, now we want to discuss these roles. No,
Right.
these roles should have been discussed while you were dating.
Yeah, premarital. I always stress about premarital discussions, and one of the biggest problems in marriages is that there was a lot of things that were not discussed in the premarital phase that should have been discussed, and those issues, uh, permeate into the marriage once the marriage occurs. You know, those things should be resolved, like you said, uh, assigning roles and how you're going to operate. Those things should be discussed before you get married, not after you get married.
Right. And a lot of people now are doing everything backwards.
Yeah.
They want to have the children before you even get married and have a set place.
Right.
Which to
Like
me,
like
it's like,
That's because they don't want men. The women don't want men.
well, the men are backwards too. I mean, how many
correct?
arguments we've had where I literally, okay, dude, you need to have at least a house, maybe a one
an
story house,
apartment. Yeah.
Apartment.
like that
No.
before you even entertain a woman. They look at you like you're crazy. No, you're supposed to build that while you have when you get the woman. I'm
Right.
like, dude,
The basics is what
that's
you're saying.
But they don't
what
want men. Okay, they feel like men is an extra child. They just want the sperm to get the child. They don't want the man.
I
They don't want y'all.
I mean
Miss
that's
Sunkiss,
something
are you drinking something? What you sipping on tonight?
What you mean? This is me. This is never you. You know what I'm saying?
I think
We having a real conversation, right?
Okay,
but
okay, Miss
We
Queen, go
keeping it
ahead.
REAL, right? I'm
Okay.
just trying to tell y'all
But
what's
I,
going on. The women, a lot of them don't even want no relationship with no man. A lot of the women, honestly, they scared of commitment. Just like a lot of these men scared of commitment. Cause like when
Okay.
I've been listening to these women talk about how they got these collections and all these different first they be telling too many different stories. Okay, first is the men ain't proposing. But then some of them they be like, yeah, I got 5 engagement rings. I'm like, so you a thief? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a promise to
yeah,
marry. And
I,
if you broke the promise, then you should have gave back the ring, but you kept it, so you a thief.
Shit, they ain't giving that ring back.
No,
no.
that's it. And you know what I'm saying?
Shit.
I do believe it depends on the judge though. But if you go sue her, you can get your ring back or the cost of your ring because that is a contract and it's a promise to marry. And if you breach the contract, then you owe. So I mean, you should go if you want to be that if you want to go that hard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can just do that. But a lot of them women, they be like, I got 5 engagement rings. Why the hell you got 5 engagement rings? But they just wasn't, what the hell is, You ain't got no real explanation for what you're talking about. Oh, you scared of commitment. That's what that is. So 5 different dudes came, but ain't no good men out here. But 5 good dudes proposed to you and none of them was worthy. But all the men, okay, you telling too many lies. You got problems. So, and then some of them, they don't want the man. They don't want the responsibility that come with the man. They just want the children that come from the state.
Yeah, there's even studies that were saying that women think that marriage is slavery, and
Well,
and if you when you have that kind of rhetoric out here, that's going to make a lot of men and women be like, oh,
Right.
why would I want to do that?
so okay, so let me ask this, but I'm just coming from the school of thought. So when you hear these certain women, mind you, these certain women, what is the sentiment of videos being placed out there um, about that of the men that are saying submission, you need to know your place, you need to X, Y, and Z. Why would anybody see that as a romantic collaboration if there's an echo force about about their womb, about point, what about it sounds like? Because people saying, well, first off, most people don't. They're actually due to the incentives of the government. There honestly is no need to really go to the altar like that anymore because literally most people can actually live and have a common law marriage, which that's what it's done in a lot of states. People are just shacking up. There's no benefits to getting married. I mean, unless you're getting tax benefits. But then again, most people are now filing separate. Uh, it's cheaper just to we just shacking up together, which I mean there's a lot of people that are doing that now and just amicably, hey, it's not working out. What is the benefits if honestly we're looking at it where there are stuff in society, laws, and different other benefits given out there that why would I need to get married and we're doing what we're doing already? Like if you wanted to marry that person, but you're 3 to 4 years already in, why would we get married now? If we're already been jacking up, fucking, cooking and cleaning and going on vacations and stuff, that's not something that courting people they just go. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm looking at that of the laws and the talking points. You got where more people are probably better off just hey, we're just in this phase of boyfriend girlfriend. You got your shit, I got my shit, and that's how we work it. I mean, trying to sell the marital talking point, there's no point to that. I mean, there's no point to that because that's now that standard has been eroded away. So you can't really shame somebody and saying you got to get married. If honestly, I can do the same thing you're doing, married and not even be married. Like we're seeing that versus you got married. I think it's called married and single. People are married, but they move single. So yeah, I'm just saying it's. If you want to get married, I mean, I don't know that many men that are saying they want to get married. Well, they'll say they want to get married, but they don't do it. Just like some women are like, listen, nigga, I get it. You just want the pussy, but you really don't want to marry me. You just want the pussy. Because because I know a lot of men that when I work at these club DDerell, they don't move like married men. These niggas move like you think they ass was single. They ain't even rocking their ring like that. Hell, you don't even see them with pictures of their women or nothing like that. But these are supposed to be married men. Same thing for the women. The women, they know. I know this man ain't really fucking with me. He just wants goddamn. They'll fuck you and put a baby in you. You know what I'm saying? And I've been there, but I know I said that same shit. Like, oh yeah, girl, I want you to carry my baby and X, Y, and Z and shit. You know, you get in that transfixed mode. I think we had a guy say, "Why do I need to wear a condom when I'm fucking my bitch? You know, why do I need to wear a condom?" I said, "Are you married to her?" No, but shit, I don't want to wear no damn condom. So
then you basically saying if she get pregnant, nigga, that if you don't marry or whatever, you will be on child support.
Yeah, that's what he said. He gonna pay child support. That's what that means.
That's exactly what it means.
Yeah, then she want to be a single mother and beg for child support. That's what all of that mean. They all dysfunctional and crazy.
Can I ask a question just to everybody in the panel? And I've been kind of thinking this for a minute, but I just wanted to run it by you. In regards to, okay, a lot of these women are having children before the marriage. Are they having children because they want to have children? Or are they having children for this dude?
They having oops babies.
I wholeheartedly believe that, and this is my position, is that the way we are educated and the way we think about sex as a culture causes this to happen. And I think that when these people get together, they become comfortable in having sex, and they become so comfortable that they don't think about the consequences of having unprotected sex.
Right.
And so they don't think about the consequences till after the person say that they're pregnant. Everything is all good if you going in raw and ain't nothing and there's no pregnancy. But as soon as a pregnancy happens, then that's when reality kicks in.
Right.
And to me, go ahead.
No. You're speaking fast. Like, listen,
and I think that to me is a function of the fact that's a function of the fact of how we view sex and the casualness of it. And that's a problem. I think that, a lot of people get together, and let's be honest, and I can ask each of you this question, even the chat can respond. When you see the Pineapple Show or even Kevin's show, when he was alive, people, you see that, or anybody's show that's a dating show, how many people say anything about one of the qualities I'm looking for is if he a good father or he's a good mother or they come from a good family? Nobody says that.
Not that I could think of.
Exactly. I don't know. That show's weird as fuck, but it's kind of like putting in like I wish I had a nigga in a bottle type of thing. And this is the thing about it, like that nobody ever puts in. This is how I know these motherfuckers are not realistic. What you meeting that person today does not mean that's how they're going to be tomorrow.
Right.
As time goes on and you start being around that person, start spending time with that person, you're going to start seeing changes. You're going to start seeing different talking points. You're going to start seeing different things of, okay, so it was cool when we didn't have this or that, but now I'm expecting, hey, like, when do we go out to eat? You can't just keep fucking and we don't ever go out to eat, or are you gonna ever give me some gas money? Or damn girl, like, do you ever do this and that? Like, I don't see the logical, like, what my woman was like when I first met her. She is not the same Miss BMT now is 2023. Like her talking points and her ideals have changed. She's still the same woman I married, but she's not. She's a different, mature type of woman, and that's why you hear people like, "Oh, they changed," or they're not the same. Or back then they used to complain when I used to bring home McDonald's. Like, no, nigga, like, can we go get groceries? Can we go do this and that? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like unrealistic shit, because you, like, that's the thing about when you have to them. And I know you've seen that in counseling when you ask them, like, hey, like, why? Well, she changed, man. She don't want to have sex every day and this and that and that. Well, or he's not the same man. Like nobody looks at that of the chronological changes that men and women go through in a relationship. That motherfucker can marry your ass and you still raise that baby like you are a single mother. That woman can doggone slop and
You
ride
want
you
a
like a porn
cartoon
star.
or you want a
That,
live
that,
film? We want.
so so that woman can be with you and say, I'm gonna ride with you, but let you get into an incident or something like that happen, she might change up, or maybe you might get a bear gut and you might not do the thing. Shit happen, bro. Like that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, and we're not having women this, women that. People change. People change, and they're not realistic about these. As I said, these conversations sometimes, motherfuckers are just stupid as fuck. Like they don't really actually hold accountability. My bad, Dieter. I ain't mean to go on those diatribe
No,
like
go
that.
ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
But
You
that's the
good? Go
thing
ahead.
about it. That's why they talk about, the for better or worse. Or this is why you see a lot of young couples like, listen, why do I need to get married? We good. We got an apartment or we got a spot. My girl's doing this is why you see a lot of people in the 50-50 communal relationships. Now, especially for the younger people, you're not going to be able to shame them into marriage. These marital shaming points or using that. Hell, nobody's even talking about even the immigrants are now doing the goddamn wedlock out of birth marriages, or we got a baby, so that's and that. I remember somebody told me if you have a baby with that person, you have to marry them. That is the biggest load of crock of shit I ever heard.
Now let
Like,
me, but let me talk on that because that used to be
please.
part of our culture, BMT. But before I do that, I want to say thank you, Sexy Red TV, for the $5 cash app. Appreciate you for supporting the channel. Appreciate that. Also, guys, I want you all to check out Sexy Red TV. She got a great channel. I love her commentary, love her personality. Check out Sexy Red TV. Now, BMT, that used to be part of our culture. Shotgun marriages used to happen a lot in our community.
Yeah, and there used to be a lot of trauma babies along with that shit. Like we had a lot of
but
that.
hold on, but let me say this. But to me, now I get that. But you know what? Back then, if you got a woman pregnant, you married her.
Fair enough. That is a listen. That is a fair enough statement. Yes. If you got her pregnant, then you married her. Yeah. And then after that, here's the thing about that, D. And I'm gonna ask you on this. What if you just married her out of force, but you really weren't fucking with her? If you married her out of force, but you really weren't fucking with her, then why would you have that same heart in it when shit gets bad? You're gonna just doggone cheat. But you weren't really fucking with them. You just did it out of obligation. And that's the thing about it that we did have going on in the black community. I know a few marriages in the church that the brother got the girl pregnant, put a went down there. We had a quick service, got some pound cake or whatever type of shit, and then boom. Now we hearing oh shit, like they weren't really fucking with each other like that.
So then I gotta yield back to what Miss Queen Sunkiss talked about. The way she told her son, you don't just give your sperm away to anybody. I think that's missing. That you got to teach your sons to show restraint. Because I personally believe, me being I'm more of a traditional man. I firmly believe that if you get a woman pregnant, fuck this shit about love and you don't know. It's a obligation to that child and the mother. That's how I was raised. Now I'm not.
Okay.
I grew up in the country, man.
So we have to marry out of.
Yes.
So I'm just asking. So we have to marry. I can't do that, bro. And I'm the damn conservative, and I'm not gonna start. Listen, bro. I'm not going to force something that is not there. Go ahead.
But see, this is the issue, because I would prefer that over motherfuckers just pumping and dumping and doing all this other stuff, and there's no consequence. Like, and you know what else that to me I liked about that? It was that the father of the daughters were more involved in evaluating who their children dated and who they married. One of the reasons why we have the situation now, because of having absentee fathers, A ripple effect was the fact that now you got girls and boys just, you know, freely dating guys with no provision and no guidance.
Right.
See. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with both of y'all really, because I do think that the way we have it now is worse because again, you know, we got people getting together, like you said, no guidance. They're just banging each other and no protection because I'm allergic to condoms, both sides. And the baby comes, all of a sudden, now, oh, you should have had a condom. Well, you should have been on birth control. Well, you should have kept your legs closed. Well, you shouldn't hit me raw. I'm like, but y'all all together caused this situation. Now y'all want to have a moral argument when none of the stuff that y'all were doing is a moral thing.
Insane.
Because we want to go back to the Bible all of a sudden. I'm like, wait a second.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
all of a sudden.
Oh, Lord.
Yep.
First of all, y'all shouldn't even be touching each other sexually at all.
Right.
Until the marriage. But that's how people think. Because when we want to shift blame and we want to talk about these child support and then reproduction, it's like we want to shift the blame on everybody. We want to shift it on the men. We want to shift it on women. Even with the whole thing about women having a lot of health issues and even being deleted during childbirth. The only time I really hear about this stuff from the women is when the men talk about child support and taking away these abortion rights and all that kind of stuff. That's the only time I hear with the women counter that. And same with the men. The only time I hear them talk about that when the women talk about this stuff. It's not on their own merit. Hey, let's talk about this stuff on our own merit, not to count what the men saying, not to count what the women saying, just to say, hey, we need to be careful about what we doing. We need to be sure that this dude or this chick really want to be a mother or a father.
Right. Before you do all that. Right.
Not because they want to be with me, because they truly want that. They want their legacy to continue. And I think a lot of us do not care about our legacy like that. We'll care about that man. We'll care about that woman. But we forget that this child is part of our legacy, regardless of whether you take care of it or not. It's still part of your legacy. When you think that you can just leave it or you can give it away, that child is still part of your legacy because somebody's going to remember that's your child. And if you're not taking care of it, it looks bad on you.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, brother. Speak, and I'm gonna ask you this out of. I'm gonna put you as a father. Could you, out of good faith, tell your child if they were in that of an intolerable relationship to stay in there for that of the benefit of the child, that you stick it out, you have this raising in the sun, logic, you know what I'm saying? You just stay in it for the child. Or would you say, you know what? I think it's best that you go your separate way. Could you, as a man, tell your daughter to stay, or your son, if they are in a bad relationship, to stay in there for that of the well-being of the child?
I can only go by since I'm not a father, but I can only go by my experience.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I can only go by my experience. I left my wife. We were having issues that was bothering both of us. And I felt and I struggled with that because I wanted to be the honorable person. But I saw how it was doing both of us. We were not getting better. Our mentality was going down. In my best interest and her best interest, I decided to leave. I got a lot of pushback from her parents because they are very religious. I got a lot of pushback. I got a lot of hatred from that side of the family. But her mother called my mother and told everything. But years later, you know, they still try. Um, my ex-wife still want to talk to me, still friendly. Parents would let me come over to that house, talk to them. Her father and I would have long conversations about what's going on. Even to this, like last conversation we had, like maybe 2 months ago, we were having a long ass conversation. This is the same man who threw me out the house. So to put it bluntly, I would never tell my son and daughter to stay in a relationship where they're just to tough it out. No, you got to think about not only yourself, but you also got to think about the other partner. Because, like, I could also say that I didn't want to have children because my ex-wife had a heart condition that her doctor said that if she has a child, she could die. And I didn't want to be the cause of her death. And I didn't want to be a single father. So I was literally, I was like, no, I'm not having a child. My wife had to try to convince me to do it. Now, luckily, we didn't have children. But at the end of the day, yes, I would tell them, no, don't do that. Try to co-parent, get both families involved, and work it out that way. Because if you stay in that relationship, it's not going to do any good for the children. And that's why you got a lot of situations where these boys and girls don't want to get married because they've seen how being in these relationships when they're not ready for it and they're struggling and they're not happy has done to both the father and the mother. I seen it in my own mother and father.
And so, like, and so I get what you're saying, and like when I talk from my perspective, um, and I'm looking at it the way I was taught by my father, and he talked about, from my perspective, there is one side of you look at obligation versus you wanting to be with that person, right? And you don't want to be miserable with somebody, okay? And so what my dad taught me is that, like, when you're looking at marriage, people are allowing the romantic aspect or the love aspect to be the majority of what that is determining you marrying somebody, instead of looking at all the other aspects of having an effective relationship. And he was like, marriage is not just about love and you loving somebody. Marriage is about you working together with somebody, you having commonality in where you want to go in life, your values. You have to have other compatibility, things that you're compatible with, and working together as a team. It's just not because he flat out told me that can change over time. You know what I'm saying? The love or no love. I mean, at the same time, you still have responsibilities. He told me you're probably going to be better off with someone, working with them, as opposed to you, being alone or disrupting your children, your family, and starting all over from scratch. So when I look at relationships from my perspective, I look at it from
All over from scratch.
from the totality of it, per se, not just, to me, if you know before you have sex whether or not you want to be with a woman or not. If there's somebody you just want to just have sex with, or is this somebody I may take serious? A guy know whether he really likes somebody or not. I mean, let's not pretend like, you know, as guys, we do have a tendency that if we just want somebody for sex, we'll determine it. But at the same time, if those consequences present themselves, you're gonna have to deal with your consequences, whether you really liked her or not. You should not be having sex with women you don't really want to be with.
Nobody. Both my
Facts.
children know. They been getting told since they was little folk. They been taught about sex. I'm gonna keep talking to them about sex, and as they get older, they already know the rule. You son, if you get somebody pregnant, I don't give a goddamn what you got going on in life. You got to get the hell on, and you got to take care of that woman and that child. You got to go. You a man now, and you need to go take care of your family. Cause I'm not taking care of it now. Whatever you go on between you and your daddy, that's y'all. But as far as your mama is concerned, you got to get the hell on. And for this daughter, oh, it sucks for you. Cause what your mama ain't doing is rocking no baby. You gonna have to figure out how you gonna take care of that baby and go ahead and do what you need to do. Cause you gonna have to get the hell on too. Cause that's not the example I set from you. Neither one of y'all, me or your dad. And that is not the way you're being reared. And sex is for marriage. And even if you decide that you're gonna have sex before marriage, there is too much protection out here to be having oops babies. I don't care nothing about this whole shack up stuff that we got in the black culture because we do know that happens. But I wasn't reared that way. My children aren't reared that way. Now I can't say that they're not gonna do that because they're their own people, but they know coming from the parent, there are consequences for doing that, and I hope that's enough to deter them not to do some of this stupid stuff that people. And I think people do this stuff because it's so accepted, you
Right.
know. I think that's why they do that. Like, what now? You know, these girls getting pregnant and they having these elaborate baby showers. Why is we celebrating this? This is not. This is not
It
nothing to
should
be
not be
celebrated.
celebrated. It should not be
You,
celebrated.
I
I
ain't throwing
agree.
no baby shower. If you get pregnant as a teenager, you get pregnant before you get out of this house. I'm not throwing you no baby shower. For what? Look, whatever people bring you, they gonna have to bring it to the door and leave it, and y'all can sit and talk in the living room or whatever it is y'all gonna do. But we're not finna have no whole celebration. I understand that a child is a blessing, but this is not a blessed occasion because you just set yourself up and that child up for some hardships
Struggle.
that didn't even have to. And we know it's struggle just from looking at the data. You know what I'm saying? These single parent households is not living high on the hog. Some of them is riding right on or slightly above the poverty line. So I don't know why we sit up here and act like this stuff is okay, like it's normal or any of that. And if you out here having sex for sport, that ain't no you in a bad relationship. Y'all not even in a relationship. I know people that got babies with people they didn't even know their name when they got pregnant. What
Right.
kind of shit is that? This is
Right. Right.
ridiculous.
Right. So let me go to Serpent X.
I only came up here for 1 minute though, and I'm gonna drop down. You time me out, D Derell. I don't appreciate that shit, so I ain't.
Well, first of all, you ain't gonna come up here talking crazy to me. You was speaking out of your mind and like what you stated, so I have the right to do so. Now, if you have a problem with that, you could go watch another channel. But go ahead.
All right, well, no problem then. This is your platform. I just came up here. I told you I ain't came to cause no drama. I just ain't came here to cause no drama, bro. I just speak my mind. That's how I feel.
Right? And if I feel like blocking you or timing you out, that's what I'm gonna have to do. But go ahead,
All right,
give your perspective.
No, I'm out. Peace.
Okay, that was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
yeah. So the thing about it is, everybody has a right to their opinion on what they want to do. That's fine. Like I said, this is just social media. I don't. Like I said, we see how it's going. People are trying to put in the nuances of. That's the only thing you're seeing. People put in the nuances of what they would do versus of what we're seeing the new generation of what people are doing. Uh, that shit is not just it's not working. People can try to shame people. I've seen people come from whole Christian Judeo homes and my motherfuckers be pieces of shit ass parents. I've seen goddamn people come from broken homes and they're great parents. They literally They're just fine. And we could try to use these talking points on them, but ultimately people are going to decide and choose what they're going to do. There was a dude, boy, came from a nice family. Mama was a minister. Daddy had a good business. Dude had 2 kids out of wedlock. And mind you, the parents were trying to push him for a wedding and all that shit. That boy ain't want none of that damn shit. That boy was just living his best life. And mind you, his trope that like one of the girls was like, yo, like this nigga had me where we supposed to go get married, X, Y, and Z. Nigga broke that shit off to go live his own life. So you can't force these people to actually want to fuck with you. It's going to either they're going to want to do it or they're going to want to do it. And I mean, like I said, I look at these conversations, I don't take them to heart because ultimately I've seen enough people from all the way down to content creators. They talk this good jargon. And when you look at their families or you look at their lifestyle, livelihoods, they're not like that. They're not even living these things like it's just like some good shit that people want to hear. We need to do this, we need to do that. But I'm like, okay, my nigga, then you go do that for your individual family. You know what I'm saying? Or where's your family at right now? Where's this going on? Like these people don't even have these situations of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? And yet you got countless videos of people. Mind you, people look for marital couples to fail. Like that's actually a thing online.
Yeah,
Or
that's true.
people actually will come on and say, "Well, I got this ring, and you bitches this and that." And you think those single mothers or any women that mind you that have a man or don't have a man, like, damn, who the fuck is this bitch? Like, this is why you see a lot of them start turning up their nose. Like, okay, so you got a single man, why you in the chat with a bunch of single women? Well, if you got it so good, go take care of your man. Same thing for the men that mind you, they'll say, well, I got a bad bitch. But then they on the panel talk about how women should submit, doing X, Y, and Z. But I'm like, well, if you got your woman like that, then why are you pressed for what all women should be doing? Worry about your woman. Like it's talking points. They're not added. They're not holistically being changed because I ain't yet seen any of these motherfuckers go to court, push any type of bill or signature or petition. You already have it where JR put out the financial abortion signature. Where was the counter to that from any of these people that are wanting these jubilee lifestyle of family and all that shit? I have yet seen anything like that. I have nothing to push back against that. So they'll say it's just a pointing the finger type of game or all that shit. I mean, I don't care. I honestly don't care. Like people say, well, there's no black family or this and that, but then they'll get on and say, well, I have a girlfriend, I have a children, this and that. So I'm like, so nigga, you do have a family, don't you? Yeah. So what the fuck you talking about? So how you gonna say there's no black family, but you have a family? Like I said, it's a lot of narratives being pushed out there for the clickbait and views. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, it's funny that you had it where they used to put out there the black family is struggle, poverty, and that. But then on MTV, they had it where white folks were doing Real World and all kind of crazy shit. The single mother TV show came from white girls getting pregnant out of wedlock as teenagers, and that show made millions of dollars. Hell, I think even some of the girls ended up becoming celebrities and shit. There was no show me where's the black teen mom show. There ain't none. There is no black teen mom show. But however, the narrative's pushed out there for that. When they don't talk about how many black young men were put into incarceration, how many men were shot, killed, or put in certain pipelines. You know what I'm saying? Like they people have these type of shotgun arguments, but they don't tell how these things got to become the way they are. And that it's a sad circumstance, but this is the circumstance of the black household. You know what I'm saying? People talking about, well, why don't the woman stay with the man? But at one time, used to have it where if the woman had divorced the man, she got sent back home. Man got to keep the children. The woman got no assets. She got nothing. Or if the man, as you just said, if he didn't take care of the family, I just said they would either beat the man to death or they would kill him. So you had it where these type of conditions were done to people off of radical ideologies and stuff. Now, if we're willing to go down that route, I can promise you the way how humanity is right now, motherfuckers aren't going to do it at all. Like telling women that if you don't get married and you don't submit, well, now what are the women doing now? They're going to do the exact opposite. Telling these dudes, well, you need to get married, be an honorable man. These men don't want to, these young boys don't want to get married. Like the hell, you got old niggas trying to be young niggas now. Like, I can't, like, I'm not saying that, hey, that marriage, like, I'm not mad at it. But me as a marital man that has all my shit and that has shown valid proof of my success, I haven't seen motherfuckers holistically parade or show off their fucking chick. Half these niggas are ashamed to show other women and their families and stuff. You know why? Because they either living in a shoebox, which I've seen people say, well, what's wrong with y'all living in a shack? Like, why would you want your family to live in a fucking shack, nigga? Like, I literally heard a nigga literally bragging off, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a dude bragging off that kind of shit. Like, well, so long as she's with a man, she should be thankful. Like, what the fuck? Like, wait a second. So you got a woman and child, but you have them living in a dreary, dilapidated environment. That sounds like them talking points of if the nigga want to stay in the hood, the girl should stick it out and stay there with that man in a horrible situation where her family can be shot or killed. The same thing, like that makes no sense. Like I'm saying, like these conversations, this is why certain people, children or lawmakers set up the thing like the 94 crime bill, or you got to be a rider, even if you're a motherfucker, even if your dude's a thug. People can vet. I hear this shit all the time. Vet. But motherfuckers, how they are one day, they're not going to be the next day. You know what I'm saying? You can raise your child to be a good adult or good adolescent. That doesn't mean they're going to actually be like that towards their spouse. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, these arguments are like they float. I'm pretty sure brother Speak is a good man, but he said, hey, I tried to make it work, and what you said, the family wanted you to stick it out, but y'all were just doing damage to each other. You know what I'm saying? There was a at my kid's school. I think the church tried to make the girl stay with that man, right? The man ended up killing himself in front of his own child because he was just that depressed. Versus he wanted a divorce, but they said, give it to God, give it to Jesus, pray about it. He took his own life. He took his own life. Like,
well, he had other issues.
He did have issues. Like, I get that, but when they could have just amicably gone their separate way, they didn't do that, man. Like, he felt like his only way out was that. And I mean, I get it saying like he had other issues, but some people, if they're not there, like, let them be, man. Like, let them be. Like, we got to stop trying to force people to do things. Like a woman, like I think one girl said she didn't want to have a baby.
Well, then you don't.
But the nigga got pregnant.
Happening? Who's forcing anybody to do something? We got less than 30% marriage rate. What the hell is we talking about here?
Well, you stuffing somebody. That's not a good thing. Stuffing
what to somebody?
It's called stuffing. You know what stuffing is?
I get what you're saying about not wanting to force people to do things. I get that. But there has to be some level of balance and accountability in the fact that if you have sex, you can produce a child. Let's not act like you gonna have sex, you going in raw, you doing whatever you doing, and not think about, oh, I can get this person pregnant, or as a girl, I can have a child by having sex. See, we gotta have a balance. And I get it. I don't want to go to one extreme to another, but
isn't that what this space pushes, is the extreme? Like, when has this space pushed down?
And that's why me and you and others have spoken against that.
Okay, right. So that's why I said, okay, stealthing, right? Or if you don't men and women do stupid shit. Like, women say, well, if you don't stay with me, I'm taking the kids. I've done been there and seen all this dumb shit. Or like the stealthing thing. Like the girl said, hey, don't come inside me. Niggas still do it. But then after that, he started playing victim. I can't believe she tricked me. or some dumb shit. And I'm like, nigga, but you did that, bro.
Yeah,
You
but
did that. Like,
she could have made him wear a condom, and she could have been on birth control.
you know what? And you know what? I get you with that, bro. I'm not gonna fight you on that. But just like
No,
how me and you had the just like no, I'm just saying. But just like how me and you had the conversation about when we drink and we're around our woman, and people say,
right.
well, if you got to do this good at, but we're looking at the reality of things. You get what I'm saying? Like we're looking at the reality of how
So
men and women have interactions
you're
and shit
right,
like that.
and you're true, and that's facts. The reality is that there's a lot of casual sex going on. There's actually too much casual sex
Yep.
that people don't understand the outcomes of the position that they put themselves in, and when it happened, you want to feel like a victim, or you should have did this and you should have did that, when you know damn well this person you've been having unprotected sex. Let's not act aloof like you don't know potential probability of you getting pregnant on both ends. See, to me, I can't excuse that, because you already knew what you was doing. Now, and I'm not saying you got to marry somebody, even though I do believe that you should hold responsibility. But it's too many times people coming up, you know, I got pregnant. He don't want to take. He don't want to see the child. He don't want to take care of him. I ain't seen the child. It's too many situations like that where people just randomly having sex, and then when the child out there, then everybody mad at each other. When in all actuality, you had no business having sex in the first place.
Boom.
That's
I
one
say
of them.
bring back the shotgun wedding. And then parents need to be parenting again and stop putting end to this mess.
So I'm gonna say this, BMT. Like, say for instance, you got daughters, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
You got daughters, right? You got two daughters, I think, right? Or one daughter?
Yep. No, two.
Okay. How influent? Okay, I don't think your daughters are dating age, but I know they like
I got my niece. I got my nieces and all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So how influential do you plan to be in your daughters dating or choosing a husband?
I plan on putting in that of my doggone advice in there. Like,
Right.
hey, like I could put in my advice and insight of my experiences to my daughters. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, have conversation. We could set up dinners, family outings and stuff like that. Just like I do
Right.
with my nieces. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like when I picked her up from Georgia with her boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? Uh they were seniors. And
Okay.
I'm like, okay, cool. So that's a good few hours we're riding together. We had conversations and stuff. We
Right.
had conversations. Granted, some things I didn't agree with, some things I didn't agree with. You know what I'm saying? Something I didn't agree with, and something I was like, okay. Like, but you have to ask the questions and to get her mind pivoting or that shit. I hear dumb motherfuckers say stupid. Well, if they don't follow what I say, they're disowned. Nigga, what did that do? Like, what did that do by disowning? Like I said, I've heard some dumbass shit in these spaces. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, okay, that's how I know you motherfuckers don't know what the fuck a family is or some shit like, because if your child, you know what I'm saying, do this or do that, mind you, we already know some people who are supposed to be like teachers or whatever kind of shit, but then their kids are out of wedlock, have wedlock shit. You know what I'm saying? But they talk about the father or some shit. Like, again, man, like all we can do is give advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are not going to be around your child when they go to college, when they go to work, when they go to school. You can only hope that what you taught in semblance of your parenting, that they actually live by or stand by. But yeah, it is what it is. That's why somebody would ask me like, hey, are you a conservative? Yeah, I am. I am a conservative. I believe in First Amendment stuff. I believe in all that stuff, but I'm actually a realist when it comes to that of accountability. Like,
Right.
you can try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I say, like, when you deal with like Christians be the biggest fucking hypocrites. Like, they'll talk X, Y, and Z about Jesus, bliss, and bliss, and bliss. But then when you ask them about certain stuff, man, they be backwards as fuck, bro. Like, I'm just trying to keep it a buck. Like, nobody runs that conservative shit to TD Jakes. Look at his daughter. She had a whole child out of wedlock, and she still got married. to a nigga who actually caught a case. So you think women stop going to TD Jakes for advice on how to get married? Come on now. His whole daughter has a fucked up relationship. They got a lot of fucked up shit going on. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you put these people's feet under the fire and compare that, well, why did it work for your relationship? Or why did it work for that? Like, Kevin Samuels failed 2 marriages. This nigga was giving millions of goddamn people advice. You think anybody listen to brother D Derell, the actual therapist, or they'll listen to Kevin Samuels, the millionaire? Whoa, supposed millionaire. Come on, bro. Like, these motherfuckers are gonna choose fire over goddamn ice every fucking time, bro. They're gonna do that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's cool talking point, bro. But people are gonna go with whatever laws and shit benefit them.
I get that. I get it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody has any feedback or response on the traditional? Because this is basically about the traditional woman, and it kind of filters into a lot of areas because, you know, as far as dating choices, having children, I mean, you know, the man. Go ahead.
I don't really see what the whole traditional versus modern thing is about. Because if you ain't got no traditional woman, you ain't got no traditional men either. So you got modern men and modern women doing stupid shit. A lot of it is nobody wants to take accountability for themselves. And I really think that's a parenting issue. I think parents have dropped the ball on making sure that they're putting accountability on their children. And I think if parents start actually holding their children accountable for their actions instead of, my baby didn't do this, my baby wouldn't do that. Oh, it's not your fault. It is your fault. It's always your fault. Anything that happens, you need to look at yourself first before you look at anybody else and fix you. And it's not enough of that. It's always point outside and point at somebody else. No, it's you. It's always you.
Right.
And until that starts going around, because I mean, all this argument, like I said, I got the best of both worlds. I got a son and a daughter up in here. I don't get to play. I'm gonna put the blame on one side and the other. Now I need to rear 2 healthy, well-adjusted children, and they are opposite sexes. And so my conversation may be different because they are biologically different, but the message is still the same. You are responsible for your own body and whatever you create out of your body. Period. And my son, you is going to go take care of that family. If I got anything to do with it, you go take care of that family. I don't care if you don't want to do it. You shouldn't have laid down and had irresponsible sex. My daughter,
Facts.
if I got anything to do with it, that's gonna be a shotgun wedding too, because you shouldn't have laid down and created no damn baby. You don't bring children, especially us as black people, with all the stuff we got going against us in this society. I don't know why people just sit up here and, oh, we just gonna do anything and complain about it later. No, that's not okay. That's never okay. But then again, you know, principles and married ain't stuff that people really do anymore.
Right.
Everything is a game. You know. And it ain't no game for me. Like, everything I did was intentional and purposeful. Like, it wasn't no accident. Oh, you just happened to get married. Oh, you just happened to have shit. No. I didn't just happen to do nothing. It was intentional because, 1, I was reared properly. And 2, you know, I can look and see what's going on around me, and I don't like the way it looks. So why would I continue to participate in something that don't look good? And I mean, I think most people see this, but I don't think people care.
Faith want the link, D Derell.
Yeah, I sent it. I sent the link down, Faith. Anything else, brother? Speak. You have any comments?
No, nothing. Nothing I can think of right now. I mean, it is what it is. I think people just don't want to take accountability on what they do, and again, they want to blame each other instead of, hey, everybody had a part to play in it. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. To the men, and people. If your child if your child has a out of wedlock baby and they don't get married, is that a failed family? Does that mean they're a failed family if they don't get married?
Yes, it is. In my opinion, it is a failed family
Okay.
because in my position, you came together, you decide to have sex, you understand that having sex lead to a child, and then in doing so, you made a decision not to get married, and you're not looking at the fact that in families there's a risk that the child will have to deal with, that there are risks that that child will have to deal with, and we all see the statistics. Kids that don't grow up with both their parents or being split up have worse chances of being successful as those that do. And listen, I'm not saying that maybe it's an amicable breakup, okay, at that point, but let's just look at it from this. And I'm looking at specific in our community. Most situations, just as you just described, BMT, doesn't involve where both parents are getting along effectively, co-parenting, and providing a healthy, safe space for the child. No, the overwhelming majority of those situations, they bickering, they mad about money, they jealous or whatever, they trying to break up the other person. It's dysfunctional. So I'm looking at what happens most of the time, not what happens, at less than 50% of the time. And in our community, most of the time when these things happen, there's some bickering and it becomes toxic. So from that perspective, I'm gonna have to say, it is failed because we're not seeing a situation where people have babies, or let's say a oops baby or mistake, and then they're just getting along great, and the child has this healthy environment where both parents are working together as a team, as one for the best interest and providing them the best situation. That's usually not the case.
Right. And I mean, like I said, and and we're talking about that's a failed family. And like I'm just saying, a good portion of America is a failure. Then, and a
Right.
good portion of
And
America.
and that's true. I agree with
Right.
that.
Right. So I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Um, I get like we're beating this stick of the horse about family, but a lot of people aren't going like it's just one of the things like, well, we got to get rid of the family courts or this and that. Okay, then. All right. So if we got rid of, and I asked this question one time of the men, if we got rid of the family courts, would the men be able to holistically cover the cost or the accountability of taking care of that of the children and that of the people on the system? If we shut off the system right now, would those same people, step up, stop bitching, start, running to the altar? Are they going to do that if we got rid of the system? But I'm gonna tell you right now, no, fuck no. They, if anything, they definitely going to really cut the fuck up.
Well, the reason why we're in the position we are, and I'm gonna go to Just Jay, is because of the lack of family structure as far as teaching children how they should operate and how they should view sex, value their body, and understand how your decisions towards sex can be detrimental to your future. So our society is in the position it is now due to partially the irresponsibility towards sex. Because because you're getting together having this casual sex with people that you don't want to be with. You don't for some guys don't even really like them, they just want them for one thing. And then when this outcome occurs, and all of a sudden it's the end of the world, or I'm just going to move without no feelings toward the child that you created. And so we're not setting our children up for a position of succeeding and thriving. That's what I'm looking at. That's why we're behind, because other people who have higher marital rates are functioning better than us, and they don't have these issues to the extent that we have. So this wheel is broken. It needs to be fixed. And this whole thing about I mean, no, I'm not saying you got to force somebody, but if a kid having sex like this already have planted in his mind that he has to be family minded as a man, and that if I get a woman pregnant, I have to make a commitment, then we wouldn't have this issue as much. We have guys right now pumping and dumping girls, getting them pregnant, and care less about taking care of the children. Okay.
Now,
and so I want to go to Just Jay, but I just want, and then I'm gonna go to Fate because I know Fate was in and out. But I just wanted to make that point. We'll revisit. I just want to hear from them. Go ahead, Just Jay.
Hey, how you doing, D?
Hey, girl, what's up?
I'm okay. Hey, chat.
Good to see you here.
Panel. Yes, sir. So I have a question for BMT. I've asked it several times in the chat. A gentleman you spoke to on a panel the other day, actually it was a gentleman that D dropped off the panel. He was saying, he expressed that he wanted to get married, and you immediately started discouraging him and started telling him about all the things that could go wrong. And I'm just curious as to why. I'm kind of confused by like the stuff you're saying. You seem like you support families, but you don't support marriage, or vice versa. I'm not quite sure, but at any rate, I'm just curious as to why would you want to discourage someone from such a thing as wanting to get married?
Okay, so the guy that you're talking about, first off, was talking about that of child support, and that
he wasn't talking about child support. No, you're talking about somebody else. You're talking about some. I'm just clarifying. I'm just giving you information. You're talking about the gentleman you argued about child support with. I'm not talking about him. The gentleman just yes, he just expressed that he wanted to get married, and you immediately started discouraging him, and you started telling him about all the things that could go wrong. I'm just asking a question.
I told him all the things that could go wrong. Okay, so the thing about it was this. So first off, he said he wanted to get married. And I actually listened to what he said. And I said, well, if you're going to, mind you, I heard what I said to him. It comes with kind of accountability. I don't want to pay for this. I don't want to pay for that. I'm trying to figure out, what did I say can you tell me what I said to him that told him not that? But I told him about accountability. I know who Serpent X is, but I'm trying to figure out, what did I say to him? When you're bringing up okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, but you're bringing up a whole nother stream from what we're talking about on this stream.
Y'all talking about families, sir. Don't be facetious, because we're talking about families right now. So please don't. Okay, don't, because your conversation is still all over the place. Even since I've been sitting here listening to you, you're it's like you're headstrong on, hey, we can still be family, even though we ain't got to get married. We could fucking have all these kids, but we ain't got to get married. Like, you're still sending the same message. So that's why I'm asking.
Well, the thing about it is, no. She came up here. She came up here to bring up another stream, right?
Okay. You keep saying another stream. It's the subject.
Okay, I just want to say so. I'm gonna let it rock, but if it goes sideways, I'm gonna have to put it back.
You do what you gotta do, D. But can you acknowledge, D, that I'm still referring to the conversation that we're having? It's not like I'm bringing up a subject that is foreign. We're talking about families, and you're still on, like, your viewpoints are it's like you don't support family, and I'm just trying to understand why, and why would you discourage people who have that desire? Why don't we have conversations about how to create healthier families, or even the conversation with the whole custody thing? Why can't we have more conversations on how to co-parent in a healthy way? Because of course we know everybody is not going to stay married. Is that ideal? It absolutely is, but that is not the reality. So what I'm asking is very relevant to what the conversation is about.
Okay, so the thing about it is this. First of all, when you start asking people about that of the finance, that of the accountability, that of the homestead, of having certain stuff going for themselves, they say, I want to get married. But then we start asking the hard questions. They don't have that. And then when I also brought up, and I said it even on the panel, that I said on the panel that, listen, these days you can raise a family and not even get married, like which a lot of people are doing. And, you know, some people have the viewpoint of, oh, no. But do you have it where people are raising families and they're not even going down the altar? They're having common law marriages. That still is a family. Whether people want to acknowledge them or not, they still are a family. But and it's not even seen as discouraging. That's just looking at things for what they are with that of society. We have it now where laws are set up where this is not no shotgun wedding or no kind of thing where, you know, somebody is forced to, that if they don't do this, that this is going to happen, which we heard a video. There was a video played a while ago on one person's stream about a man bragging on how he made his wife live in a living hell because she had no other options but that. Or another guy talk about how, when we just talked about Tyrese, his wife was making money and yet he was giving her only just enough. So, but she was married to him. But everybody was complaining that, oh man, that poor Tyrese. But nobody looked at the amount of money that he was literally withholding from his family. But yet he cares so much about them. He only gave them so little. Like, nobody looks at these types of things that are going on with the man or the woman versus that of two people working together. And when you start asking young men such as Serpent X, who just came up on this panel, he came up on this panel earlier, and literally you ask him, well, what do you have inside stored for that? Brother Speak even said, most of these young guys cannot answer the question. They don't have no type of direction. They don't have no type of understanding of them. But they say, I want a wife. I want this. But then when you start asking them the hard questions, they don't know. So, yeah, I'm going to say, hey, bro, if you don't know, you're going to lead that woman astray and you're going to put her down in the world of hurt. It's best not for you to do that and end up going through divorce or anything like that. You probably need to get yourself together.
Said, though.
Well, I mean, guess what? The conversation right there, it is what it is. Whether you like it or not.
It is.
Okay,
you're right. So if you don't like it, then you can go.
Okay,
No. Don't do that, because I definitely can go whenever I feel like it, unless D drops me off the panel. But you're still deflecting.
DDerell,
this is my thing. When you have,
you allowing a lot of things to happen.
When you have, I'm being respectful, sir. Don't do that. And now you're trying to manipulate him. That's not okay. I'm being very respectful. I'm sorry, D. Go ahead.
Hold on. I want to give it perspective. I think we kind of going away from things a bit. I don't want a confrontation. We can discuss. Because I don't really know. I'll be honest with you. I didn't see the video, so I don't know the context y'all speaking this.
No, it's still the same thing. It's still the same thing as the conversation now.
So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to Faith, and then I'm gonna come back. Okay, I just want to do that. I'm gonna go to Faith, and then we'll get back to that. Go ahead, Faith. Hey, Queen.
Hey, what's up, King? Panel, ladies, gentlemen, what's going on with y'all this evening? I just came here because I wanted to make a comment about the topic. Basically, it's about modern women versus traditional women. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's about modern women and traditional, not necessarily versus, but I wanted to discuss both to kind of identify the differences. And I wanted to in some way give more clarification to what that really means as far as the ideals of what the manosphere thinks traditional women are and what they think modern women are is not necessarily the reality of the roles that they actually operated under in real time. Because in my perspective, their positions and talking points on the roles that they have are not necessarily indicative of what is in real life. There's other nuances that they're not aware of, or they're just purposely leaving out. So it's not necessarily versus. It's just more giving more perspective of what being a traditional woman is and what being a modern woman is.
Okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I listen to the manosphere men talk, and they're saying that they want this traditional woman, I'm pretty much hearing them describe a woman that's like Big Mama. Y'all remember Big Mama?
Yep, sure do. I mean, you had that conversation about that.
Yeah, and I talked about this a couple of days ago on my stream, but with Big Mama, you know, she pretty much was that what goes on in the house stays in the house type female. And that's what they're looking for. Now, Big Mama, you know, she saved, but at the same time, Big Mama also caused a lot of hurt and pain in the family with her traditional ideology. And I'm talking about Big Mama as far as traditional Black women in the Black community. Because see, we always compare, you know, our family makeups to white people, and there's no comparison because white people did not have a Big Mama. Big Mama, like DDerell said earlier, she did everything. Big Mama paid all the bills. Big Mama doled out all the discipline. Big Mama was in everybody's business. Quiet as kept. Big Mama ruined a lot of people's marriages. Quiet as kept because she was in everybody's business. And most of these guys, they look fondly at Big Mama because Big Mama also believed that boys will be boys, men will be men. Big Mama was the first one that told her daughters that she was fast if a man was looking at her behind. So that's the reason why I said, you know, these men really describing Big Mama. And that's a problem. That's a problem because the time that Big Mama came up, you know, she did cooking, she did cleaning, she did all of that type of stuff. But also, you know, there were a lot of constraints on Big Mama that modern women don't have to deal with today.
Facts.
So, you know, when you're comparing modern women to traditional women, as far as what the Black community knows as a traditional woman, I think we've come a long way from Big Mama, and I'm glad.
Right. Exactly.
Personally, I'm glad.
Exactly.
So, you know, I just, that's all I really wanted to say. You know, a woman in this day and age can't help but be modern. We got too many things in this society, you know, that, you know, you really, you can't help it. Like right now, you know, there aren't a whole lot of men, you know, asking for marriage. So it's hard to be a traditional woman under these circumstances because usually the man is the one that's doing the asking. And in the Black community, the marital rate is low.
Right.
So how can you be traditional?
And yeah, even if you are traditional, you got to understand, okay, if you're going to see, this is what's not said, Faith. So you want her to be a traditional woman. So then you're going to have to be a traditional man.
And get down on that knee. And they're not doing that.
Right. And that's what Miss Queen Sunkist talked about. These guys not getting on their knee and they're not, you know, asking for marriage. And my position is that the economics don't allow it. Not only does the economics not allow it, is that women have more opportunities. And the fact of the matter, you know, most households are going to have to operate off of a two incomes. And so if you're not making a certain amount of money, you're not getting a traditional wife. That's just the reality of it. You know, like you can't be making $50,000-$60,000 and say you want a traditional woman.
No,
it's just not gonna happen. $56,000.
And to be honest with you, 100K ain't gonna do it now because the way this inflation is rising, and it's rising quick. 100K is not even what it used to be. You got to be making double that now, 200K, in order to talk about having a wife that you can sit down at home and raise a family.
Exactly.
So I always find it very interesting, Faith, when a lot of these dudes say, "Oh my God, the modern woman," and I'm like, "So what time period were you born in?" Because nigga, it's not like you out there like cutting down logs and making log cabins and shit, and you know, making pencils and you know, doing X, Y, and Z. Like, stop it. You were born in that of a progressive era, but they want the 1950 modern woman, or literally like a lot of these people are not.
This is the problem, BMT. In the Black community in the 50s, the traditional woman is not, the black woman operating as a traditional woman had a lot of say so in her family. She controlled the finances. She may have worked for the white family and brought like when we saying this, to me, what I'm seeing, and I'm just giving clarification. Let you continue. Is that their idea is from a Eurocentric standpoint that black people never were able to enjoy.
Right.
Exactly.
Very, very few black women enjoyed that.
Yeah, so but go ahead, brother. I just
no,
note.
you bring up a good point, but it's like, and me and Faith have had this conversation. Like, you know how many women back in those times got forced out of school and got made to stay home and had to raise their brothers and sisters and all that other shit. Like, they didn't even get to go to school. Like, that's a lot of women. There's a lot of women that literally got paid under the table, horrific wages and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are not fallacy, but everybody talk about, they were so happy, they were so loving, like, getting beat or getting beat or abused. Like, who are they going to report that to? Who are they going to report that to? God? Who are they going to fall on their knees and give it to Jesus type of shit? Or a lot of sexual trauma that happened, or incestual pregnancies? Like, nobody ever likes to look at, and mind you, and I'm the conservative guy, but I'm not blind to the shit that these conversations that Big Mom would say, shh, don't talk about that. But then you find out about it when that woman or that man hit the dirt, and then all this shit start coming out, and then the kids are like, damn, fuck this family, I'm out.
Here's what looked traditional to me when I was growing up. When I was growing up, there were a lot of two-parent households in the black community, a lot more than there are now, because more black people were getting married back then. But this is what I saw. I saw black women going to work, and I saw black men also going to work. And I also saw that they both helped raise the children. They both did work around the house. It was always a partnership where both people, had their hands in it. And whenever one person couldn't do it, or they got laid off or fired from a job, one person had to step up and do it, but the other person was out scrambling, trying to hustle to bring in money. That's what I saw growing up. I don't know what everybody else's, traditional black household looked like, but that's what I saw.
Yeah. See, like I was describing for my situation, I saw men working. All they did was work a lot, and the woman took care of the house. She took care of the finances. She made most of the decisions. She parented and disciplined the children. Like the women did a lot, and the men worked. They worked. They didn't have a lot of interaction with their children. That's what I saw. And
you're right. And they were also in the church like all the time. Back in the day, the church was a big thing.
Church activities, love the pastor, love all the activities. Come on, you can't say fuck the church.
I'm sorry, dude. Like, if I gotta be the negative Nancy, but that pastor had too much doggone. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I think that's the problem. I think the black fallacy of the traditional shit. If you can't talk about there were a lot of marriages. Ask yourself this: how old was mama or granny when she married granddaddy? I ask that. They might want to talk about them. They might want to talk about them Stockholm marriages.
Yeah, but hold on, BMT. That was a different time. And you can't,
right.
You can't. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this wholeheartedly because, at that time, people were having a lot of children, and to be honest with you, a lot of these households could not take care of all those damn children. And if a father felt like his daughter was of age to marry her off to a man that can afford to take care of him, they did so. That was allowed. Now, and to me, listen, looking at it from hindsight, I don't always think that was the best situation. Let's also understand that at that time, education was not afforded to black people. And even if they did, they had, poor education. and it was more important to farm and sharecrop and all of those different things. So people were put in a position where, yes, I mean, I have aunts.
I want to interject real quick because I think it was way harder on Black women back then, because not only were we still working and also helping to pay the bills and doing majority of the rearing of the children, but it's just like we just had we had a heavy workload back then, because we had to still come home and cook, we had to still come home and clean, even after working a 8-hour job. We had to still deal with all of that.
Yeah, a lot of them,
and the men expected you to do it too, because they were the man, and you had your role as the woman still.
Right.
Still, even with having to work.
Okay. Well, there were some women that did go through that. Most of them, now from where I came from, most of them it was 50-50. Some women stayed home, and then another half worked for white folks. You know, that's kind of, you know, me growing up in the South, in Louisiana, that kind of was the situation. There were women that, like, if they did.
Oh, you talking about the 50s?
Yeah, the 50s and 40s, 50s. I'm talking about back in the day, even the 60s per se.
Oh, okay, because I can only go back. My memory only goes back to like the late 70s and 80s.
Oh no, I'm talking about 40s, 50s. I'm talking about like my grandparents. Like my grandparents grew up. My grandparents grew up in the like the 20s, the 30s, you know, like I'm looking at, you know, the ages of that. And my dad grew up in the 30s and stuff like that. I'm looking at it like from I come from a rural background, like country, real country. So my experience seeing things, and this was like you know, we had a high percentage of Black people that lived in that area and how they conducted themselves. And to be honest with you, a lot of the
but it depends on what class of Black person you were back then in the 50s and 60s.
They was pretty much poor. They all was poor. They all was pretty much poor. They was sharecropping. They was farming. Farming was the most.
Yeah, now that's my grandparents. My grandparents were sharecroppers, and my grandmother was out there in the field right along with my grandfather.
Exactly.
So you know, she had to work, and on top of that, she had to bear the children, go back home, do the work around the house, do the cooking, the cleaning. So it was still the same thing.
Yeah, and then I saw a group of, like, they had women that didn't work. They had a lot of children that didn't work, and when their husband got paid, that check went straight to her hand, and she was responsible for handling everything financially and things for. I saw that a lot, even in the 80s. That, you know, that my dad was like that with my mom until she started. When we came age, he got paid. The check went straight to her. She took care of the bills. He trusted in his wife to take care of everything in the house. Food, groceries, kids need this and that. This is what we got. This is what we make. You take care of that. Like, I'm trying to look at like it just wasn't one thing. There was a variety of different type of marriages. So I was just trying to look at it versus what they're painting versus what the reality was. And the reality was there were a lot of women that were overly working for white people and coming home raising their children and then trying to raise their own children and doing all the work.
I think that represented the majority, D, because as far as what you're talking about,
not in the South, not in the South, not in the South. Most particularly in rural areas, some of them were working, but a lot of women stayed home and they had a lot of children. They was having 15, 20 children. They wasn't working for nobody. They was at home most of the time. Now that did, like I said, there was a lot of women that did do what you're saying. I get that, but that was, you know, give or take. Most older women that I know growing up, that was my grandpa. They didn't work. Most of them didn't. They had some that did, but those that did, you know what they were doing? They was washing clothes. They was babysitting. They was working as maids and all this other kind of stuff. They didn't have like legitimate like jobs working for a business per se. They was basically working for white folks, and they was doing the sharecropping stuff that you just talked about. Like, you know, that was some variety. But yeah, I get it. A large percentage were working and coming home and doing a lot. I saw that too. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, you're wrong. I'm just saying that there was certain types of situations that occurred. Now, if you look at more urban areas, you probably saw way more of that, because that was a different economics that occurred, where there were women, a large percentage of women, that even if they had a husband, that they wasn't making a lot of money. In the Black community, particularly in the urban areas, it was an expectation that you all both had to work, and that the wife had to come home and still do all those duties. I get that. That's a definite truth, you know. But you know, I'm just trying to look at it from every avenue that
right, and that's the reason why I was saying that I'm so glad that we gotten away from that, because if that's what tradition looked like for the Black woman, we've come a long way from that, and I'm so glad that we don't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, but see, one thing I wanted to point out, and this is something that the management doesn't talk about, is the fact that this whole thing about their idea of traditionalism is that the man made all of these decisions, and in a lot of these households he actually entrusted in his wife to make those decisions, and that's a difference. So this whole thing about this traditional woman under the provision of his husband, and she couldn't make a decision unless he said so, that was not true. That was false. A lot of husbands entrusted that their wives make those decisions about the kids, the house, how much food, clothing, everything, church, whatever stuff that was going on. Women made most of those decisions. They entrusted in their wives to make those decisions. They didn't entangle in it.
Well, it wasn't too much that they entrusted, but the women just took up that responsibility, because back then, and this is what I used to hear the older women in my grandmother's age group talk about. They talked about how the men were out there drinking and gambling up all the money, and they would have to take that money and lay it to the side, because if they didn't, he would be out there drinking, gambling, and all the money would be gone. No bills would get paid. So they had to.
I think, like I said, like when I had earlier, and I was saying that, listen, we're in a day and age now that the laws have been revised and revamped,
right?
Where you do not have to get into a standard contract because of these circumstances of things that have happened. Just like Faith brought up, just like some of the stuff y'all brought up. Like back then, a lot of women did not have a choice. And I said, well, that was back in the day. Well, guess what? We're looking at it now. The choices of those people that was then, and now their children like look at it like, damn, that happened to mama, or they went through that. Well, how we call them, the mama boys, where they have a vitriol against the man or the woman that said, hey, don't trust them bitches out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kids are growing up and they're watching how the environment that they were shaped in was wrought. So having hey, that was back in the day, but now you hear men saying, hey, well, I think I should be able to go be like Mark Houston and wait till she's of consensual age. Okay, so you want that, but then this girl has no tangible things in her life and has not yet matured. That's in this that was one of those things of the traditional woman. Well, when she's ready, she's right and ready to go get married. Now you got to wait. Look at the country now. Now other countries, even down to like the Middle East, their sons are now starting to speak out about their mother's second wife or third wife getting abused or mistreated. How come those sons are speaking out now? But they're so traditional, but now their kids speaking out. Even in Africa, I think Cameroon. That's a legal polygamy area, But the children don't want to do polygamy like that. But they're like, hold up, bro. Like, I remember what it was like when I had to be the second. We had a show, Sister Wives, you know, those traditional women. And look how that shit works out. Like, we get to watch these things real time, just through observation glass. You know what I'm saying? And I get we saying, well, that was back in the day. But that doggone 16-year-old girl, 17-year-old girl being said, hey, you need to take care of this man and X, Y, and Z. And do what, whatever, or these shit has happened. Now I understand we have certain things or bodies of stuff that has happened to the black man, you know, being drafted into wars that we didn't want to go to, having certain drugs being put in there, and then, you know, people bringing that kind of stuff into the homes. Those things happen, and those were not good things. But we're now looking at it where people have either say, hey, we need the 94 crime bill. My child, my boy, y'all are holding him back in school. I think they did a movie. I forgot that black woman. She did a movie. It's about a life movie about a black woman that went to the state board about her son and his education. But now, did she step out of being traditional because she went to go fight for her child? No, she didn't. She actually was defending her family. Like, that's the thing about being a conservative. You're conserving that of the well-being of the policies for your family. People talk about conservative shit on a sexual basis, but they don't talk about the policies, like the stuff that you actually need to look at. Like women saying, hey, we want better healthcare, jobs, and a way of life. I don't see a problem with that. They're trying to conserve a way of life from the previous ladder of women that didn't have a choice to now. To where they are now. A lot of them laws that are getting passed, those are children or people from those environments that are saying, hey, man, like Shaquille O'Neal, his father left him and a stepfather stepped in to help raise him. Jeff Bezos, his daddy walked out on his ass. A stepdaddy stepped in and helped raise him. You got plenty of these environments of these things that happen. The talking point of trying, like I said, the using the marriage as a weapon, as a weaponized tool to say, I'm married. This is why I can. And granted, some of us have done it, but then I'm also realistic when I have these conversations. I can't find a reason to tell men and women off of how some of these things that are happening in the laws or in the courts or in society to families to, hey, run to that altar. Versus, well, vet them. Well, why didn't you vet the man? Well, or why didn't you vet that woman? Well, okay, so you vetted them and they did X, Y, and Z fuck shit to you. Or the guy like, hey, you know, we're not gonna say no names. Guy made $30,000 to $40,000 a year. He said, if a woman married me, you to quit your job and submit and be under my leadership. I'm like, wait a second, but what if she's making $60,000 to $70,000? It don't matter. If she's gonna be my wife, she needs to submit. I'm like, am I lying, Faith? Brother Speak, am I lying? D Derell? Come on now. These are
But
people talking about.
let me add to that, BMT, because see, people are not really looking at what it was for Black families, because the rules of engagement was a lot different for us, like D Derell said. But I want to really drive it home. See, white men, they were able to, you know, go out and work, sit their woman down. They lived a good life because white men made that good money. But like D Derell said, we all lived in poverty. We had a lot of sharecropping going on. A few Black men had industrial jobs or what have you. But to sit the Black woman down mean that you had to live in poverty. And sometimes women had to sit at home and wash those clothes. And even though the man bought his paycheck home to that woman, make no mistake, when he wanted to drink, when he wanted to gamble, and she say, no, we need this money to pay the bills, don't touch that money, she was getting her ass beat. What about that piece? See, we forgot about that piece.
Yeah, but so I get that did occur. Nobody gonna say that didn't occur, but I'm not gonna say that
it occurred a lot.
You mean,
so you know, so that's the reason why you have these big mamas, and I'm telling you, that's how Big Mama was born, because she had to stand up to that man. on many occasions.
I'm gonna have to say most marriages wasn't like that, but it was a lot that did occur. But I'm not gonna say most marriages had that level of that kind of. There were situations of financial things, but to say most marriages was domestic abuse and gambling, I have a difficult time thinking that. But I do get what you're saying. That did happen a lot. I've known and heard women talk.
I'm
about
not
that.
saying it was every household, but it was a lot of households where that occurred. And that woman had to be strong. She had to stand 10 toes down. And a lot of times she took them beatings. And a lot of times, you know, she just had to, you know, muster up enough strength to stand up to that man and take that money and do what she knew needed to be done with it, regardless of what he was talking about. And see, you know, I know a lot of black men don't like it because it paints y'all in a bad light. But I'm telling you, when you listen to the old women talk and you listen to the old men talk now, tell them to tell you the truth about what really happened back then.
I think
and that's the reason why I say I'm grateful that we are not living in those days anymore.
One of the things about it I bring up to a lot of younger people or people who are going to get married is it takes work. And I believe all four of us know that. You know, people look at it that when they put a ring on, shit gets easy. It's a lot easier. No. But see, hold on now. You got to think. This is why they want them young and dumb and stupid. And you got to understand, it takes work. That is a whole human being laying right next to you. That was a reality I understood, that, you know, it's all good and all when we just boyfriend and girlfriend. But when you put that ring on and y'all go down into that courthouse and y'all get that paper signed and oh shit, they got that last name. Oh yes, nigga. And see, the thing about it, when I tell a lot of young brothers, listen, if you can't be accountable for yourself, if you still struggle and you on strugglation, but yet you talking about, I would like to get married, but yet, listen, there's a lot of accountability, especially we're not even talking about a little mouth or mouths you got to feed. And see, when that happens, brother D Derell, a lot of brothers, they get overtaken and they leave, or they go back home to mama, or go hang with their homeboys rather than sit in that house and deal with that family. See, I'm not gonna say no bullshit and tell y'all what the fuck y'all want to hear. I'm telling you what I've had to sit down with my cousin and other brothers at them sites. Man, that bitch is steady complaining X, Y, and Z. Like every time I get my check, she be having me spin it up. Listen, bro, we got to make cutbacks. Hold on, bro. Sit down, talk with me. Come on now. Yeah, I say, well, okay, let's go over your expenses. Now, I'm gonna be for real. You driving a goddamn Dodge Challenger. How many vehicles y'all got in y'all house? One, but you driving a Dodge Challenger. That's a 2-seater with barely nothing in the back. But y'all got 3 kids. Why the fuck you got a Dodge Challenger? You're supposed to be switching over, bro. That the car payments alone. See, it's unrealistic. I want my cake and eat it too, but yet you barely skating by, but yet you want this fast lifestyle. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you got to start sitting down with these people and having a realistic conversation about and Faith brought it up, but like, hey man, finances don't stress. Like, you can't take no $20 and go down to the corner store and go fill up a grocery cart. It don't work like it does. It doesn't work like that. Like, making $600 checks, man. Listen, man, that's usually somebody's goddamn rent, and that's like a not even what's that? A little studio. Like, these things that are going on, and people are not having realistic conversations, but they want people to live the bare minimum. And that was something I was pushing at against a man the other night. That why should that child complain about sleeping on a fucking air mattress? And I'm like, is this nigga serious? But this nigga want to talk to me about a family, but you want kids sleeping on air mattresses and shit? Like, that's but I'm trying to tell you, bro, like, These people want struggle women. That's why they get in these third world country women that don't know better. And then what happened when they bring them to the U.S., what do a lot of these women start doing? They leave them. They say, what the fuck? My situation didn't get better. All these women get on welfare. I think we had a person get on FaceTime and he was bragging off how he was his family, his mom and dad were traditional. But then he said, yeah, we use the government. You remember that, Faith? The guy said, yeah, we use the government. We use welfare and food stamps. Oh, so y'all did your mom go to work? Oh yeah, she went to work. And she went to work, and so did my dad. Okay. But then you had other brothers come up there and say, nah. That's the way. So when the black woman does it or the black family does it, they're not traditional anymore. They're pieces of shit. When other groups do it, they're still traditional. Y'all got to start making up your mind on this movement of the goalposts. Just like I try to tell you, a lot of these younger people, they're raising their family. I know some people say, well, it's not healthy. It's not the conventional style, but we in 2023. You can go get paperwork done now. You can go get paperwork done. And a lot of people understand that some people didn't have the same access as they do now. Some people don't have that. And, people don't want to hear that type of shit, or people just don't have that type of degree of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, nobody doing this. You got to stay in it or get your ass punched in the face and then go to church, talk to the minister and go back home. Or just, mama say, hey, you know what? You got to marry her now, son. And then, but mama is your second wife, not the woman. A lot of these women, a lot of these mothers putting their business in their sons' lives, and they might as well be the goddamn mama or the goddamn wife. And a lot of these women, they're like, well, shit, I just got with you, but you had a check, but you really ain't all that. I don't know, man. Like, people can say, well, BMT, this is contradictory shit. No, this society.
Well, I'm gonna say this, man. I don't know what you said on the other thing. Yeah, this like people. I don't know what's going on with you and the women, BMT.
I don't give a shit about them goddamn women. They trolls. They like Team AC coach's daughter.
But I can't be watching the next time if somebody brings
the daughter of the coach. That's what I'm calling for now. The daughter of the coach.
I'm gonna definitely have to stop it because there's too many things happening on other platforms that's coming over here, and I can't really say.
Yeah, you don't want your channel to be a battleground channel.
Yeah, right. I ain't trying to do all that. But got to look videos. I have no idea what that's referencing. So we're gonna stay on topic. But I think it's an important discussion to have. My purpose for the discussion was for us to give a more realistic standpoint of what traditionalism means versus being modern. And to me, my position is there's good in both. That could be, you could be a little bit of both, or if you choose to be, to me, it's about who you with and what y'all decide to be. You don't have to fit any box. Yeah. As long as the person you're in a relationship is good. It don't matter what you think a traditional woman is supposed to be. It's about what you feel and what your partner feels.
Right.
And that's the thing. I think that they're trying to create this one box for everybody type of thing. And that's just not how relationships work. What worked for Faith in her situation may not work for BMT, may not work for Brother Speak. What may not work for me. Everybody's different. But see, the issue with that is that you got people who never been in functional relationships trying to tell you what that's supposed to look like. And most of these guys have never been in functional relationships, never been married, never had long-term relationships, but you all of a sudden trying to explain who modern woman is, who traditional. And to me, and I'm going to say this, and I know how y'all may feel about this, they still trying to eat up the Kevin Samuel gravy train. Because that was what he, invented, and I guess per se, I'm not going to say invented, but he made the term vogue, and they just went along with it. So, so that's my per se. This is more of a Kevin. This is still like I'm trying to eat off of Kevin Samuel type of thing.
Oh, you over here grifting, D? Is that what you do?
I don't know what the hell.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot of
Not trying to grift because I really like everybody that word been used so much lately. It's crazy, but
it's just another word that loses all meaning at this point. It's like,
man,
what is grifting? What is not grifting? Just like disingenuous. What?
But what is
all
showing?
These other terms, people use it and they don't even give a meaning, and sometimes it don't even fit what's going on.
My position is they all of them are grip to make money, as far as I'm concerned. All the major, bigger YouTubers, they'll do whatever.
Oh yeah, O'Shea sits up on his channel all the time, and he says right out the back, "Hey, I'm about to grip." He don't even care.
Yep, I think nowadays they realistically just telling you, like, they holistically just telling you, man, like, whatever gets the goddamn coin, the views, the watch time, fuck it. I mean, you just had two people tell you that they're professional grifters.
Yeah, and so my position. See, I would never want to be in a position where I got to depend on YouTube for money, because then I can't do the content I want to do. You got to do the content that's going to sell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never want to be in that position. I mean, but for those who are professional YouTubers, more power to you. You know, I just couldn't do it. I like to do content that, whether you like it or not, whether it's popular or not, that's just what I want to do. That's just me. I'm not gonna, whatever the hot topic is, I got to do this or go this way because that's where everybody going. I got to make sure I put certain concepts in my titles to attract view. I can't do all that. That's too much for me. I like to just, hey, this is what I want to talk about. Whoever want to rock with me. Who don't. I'm fine with that. You know.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, I make money outside of YouTube. I don't.
Yeah, I can't, man. To me, I'm gonna be honest. If I was a full-time YouTuber, I don't think I would be able to sleep.
No,
because
I couldn't depend on this as my main source of income.
Because
I take too much time off, honestly.
I'm gonna be honest.
I can go a week without doing any content.
Yeah, like I don't think I can sleep because I'll be wondering, somebody gonna strike my channel if I gotta change this. Oh, my analytics down. You know, I can't say this. I don't want this person trolling. You know that.
Y'all better read Y'all better read and keep up what's going on.
Yeah,
they've already started to shut down these channels. Facebook Meta is already dropping. Like I already reported, like they dropped Red Table Talk as well as all these weird ass crazy shows and stuff. Oh, they were doing that to all. No, they got rid of purposely a lot of different talking points, like Title 203. They're not, listen, these big conglomerate stream giants don't want to be held accountable for all crazy shit no more. They're like, yo, we're not taking no more L's for y'all. Y'all are on your own. I think they're actually slowing down on the AdSense pays. They're slowing that shit down now. Where I mean, you and what they got Fed now, so all these cash apps and they're not being accumulated for tax purposes. Yup. So, oh yeah, I'm enjoying watching these doors are closing up. Y'all niggas get ready. Walmart is hiring. McDonald's is hiring. You got interviews going on. You motherfuckers gonna be doing streams from goddamn behind these cash registers and shit.
Come on.
I'm waiting. Y'all, all these 7-figure motherfuckers, but they doing streams and U-Hauls and goddamn dilapidated environment. Yep. Keep it going. That's it. You keep getting tired of y'all asses.
Everybody be in the trucking sector.
Everybody a trucker, everybody a goddamn. Nah, damn, bro. I'm like, everybody.
Wait. Hold on. What's wrong with being a trucker? And y'all
sorry, man. There's too many. There's too many of these goddamn niggas. There's too many of these goddamn 7-figure goddamn truckers and shit running around. And
truckers make good money. Truckers make good money though.
Listen, you can't tell me. Listen, okay, they do make good. Listen, they do make good money, but they're not telling you the end. Maybe I need to go pay. Maybe I need to go pay Faith to go do act. Listen, they're not telling you the whole ins and outs of what it takes. And when you start out as a trucker, like maybe Faith, or maybe I need to go get my mom or my dad or some of my people that drive, but they're not telling you the whole ins and outs, man. Like they're not telling you like they're not going over.
I know for a fact.
Owner operators are the ones that typically make the six figures and the real good money.
I know for a fact. I had a cousin of mine who watched what's that girl from Austin? The chick
Austin Holland. What?
Erica Williams.
Erica Williams. He said Erica Williams ain't making the money she claimed, like on the trucking stuff she was doing, the broker type thing. He said nah. He wasn't feeling that at all. He watched some of the stuff that I showed him. He disagreed with a lot of her on the trucking stuff she used to talk about. He said that they're not making money like that.
With the brokerage part, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Who you know.
It's your connections.
Yeah, he was like,
Faith, you got to teach your children, Faith. You got to teach your trucker children the way of, you know. You gotta teach them the ways of this.
My kids do not want to be truckers.
Not them. You're talking about your YouTube children. Your YouTube children.
The YouTube kids. Oh no.
I'm actually thinking.
They too hard headed. They'll come up in there. I'll be like classes in session. They'll be trying to take the daggone chalk away from me. No, babe. This is what it is. And they ain't been in a truck a day in their life.
Listen, man. Listen, I had a dude. We had to fire him like the second week. I said, I wanted to say his name is Thaddeus. Thaddeus, where you at? Huh? Oh, I'm in the truck. I said, your truck hasn't moved in about 20 hours. How you know, nigga?
Wow.
This nigga was still asleep, hanging at his homegirl house. I said, bro. Just put the keys in the truck, bro. We'll tow it. Like the nigga just. Some people like you don't understand. There's a huge commitment. That health. My mom. I think my mom started to talk to a few people like, hey, get out, walk, eat right. You sitting down for a long period of time that could cause thyroid and different health problems. Now, I don't. Faye talking about. Y'all like y'all women fat? No, bro. I'm not. Listen, Faith. Please tell I'm not lying about this, bro.
You did a good video on the healthy shit, on the healthy stuff as far as what looked healthy and what we like, and that was a real good.
I didn't like that. She was attacking thick girls. I didn't like that.
I was not.
I will have to strike down that video. I'm sorry, Faith.
That fat look good at 21, but when you get 40,
damn right. You damn right.
It don't look the same.
You damn right.
It don't look the same at all.
It does to me though. It does to me.
I'm out for the thicker woman too.
I'm all.
At the same time, I ain't for you trying to get diabetes. And shit. Now I gotta pay all these,
Okay, I get that. It come with the charge.
Yeah, that's.
That diabetes. Once you start racking up those serious what do you call it? Pre-existing conditions. That medical bill is going to skyrocket.
Listen, baby. We can go to the gym together. Get you them nice yoga pants. Y'all women love yoga pants.
What is going on down here in the chat room? Why these people?
It's not your
right.
Listen, Faith, I'm not getting into that because you know how that go within our community.
I don't care about the daughters of coaches. I don't care about that. When they can get over 200 views, then I'll care. Like I'll actually start caring. But like I said, sorry.
Okay.
Fuck.
All right. So I mean, I do think in our community we do have a culture.
But am I being attacked down here in the chat? What's going on?
No, that's why I can't. No, excuse me. That's why I came up to let you know that I don't even know you. That's just a general conversation. I'm just
okay.
I talk a lot. It don't have nothing to do with you. I've seen your name a couple times, but I know nothing about you. I'm just talking. Black people in general get on my nerves with these conversations, so don't take it personal. I just wish we would encourage people to get mental health, get some real, help besides just shitting on, the generation before us and the people before us. And this one didn't, and no, it's the Gen X's, it's the boomers, it's the, like, none of that helps our personal growth. So that's my personal hang up. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with you. Now, my other comments are definitely directed towards the gentleman, but like I told D Derell, I don't even know him. I talked to him once the other night on the panel. He's pretty exhausting, just like he was talking earlier. Y'all was quiet, crickets.
Okay.
And yeah, but
Well,
anyway,
That's
I just wanted
that's
to
how
clear that
panels
up.
go. That's
I
how
know.
panels go where people are
But
quiet.
D, I just wanted to let you know, babes, it's nothing like, I'm not trying to bring drama. I'm just very opinionated
You
about
did
certain
what you
stuff.
did.
It has nothing to do with nothing else. That question was simply specific because we was talking about families. If you notice, I didn't bring up anything else.
I mean, but you did bring drama. You did do that.
You what?
Okay,
I
okay.
brought
Let me
drama.
let me
Okay,
stop.
you can go back in the chat.
All
Go
right,
back in the
hold
chat.
You
on.
don't, sir, you don't run me. See, that's your problem. You're very condescending. And I think that's why people have a hard time taking you in and just
I
like really, really listening to what you're saying,
uh-huh.
because you would have
Right.
something of value to
But you didn't
offer.
come up
But
here.
because,
What
well,
you don't
sir,
even know
you
my channel.
obviously you
You
don't
don't
know
even know
me,
my
because
channel.
if you've
I don't care to know
Just
actually,
you.
Jay.
oh,
Just
well,
Jay.
I
that's my
don't care
whole
to know you.
point. Because if you did, you would know I would have been cussed you out if I didn't have
Just
respect
All
for the
right,
Jay.
trust
panel
man, I
right
will
now.
curse
Just
you out
Jay.
too. I will
And
curse
that is
you out too.
okay. And that is
That's fine.
okay.
Okay. All
But
right,
that's what,
Cobra.
Just
All
D,
right,
Jay.
Cobra.
D, do
I'm
you not
talking to you.
understand what is happening right now, dear?
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I'm trying to talk to you. Listen.
Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, D, I'm about to jump down because it's starting to get volatile,
No, it's
Yeah.
everywhere
just
on here.
gaslighting behavior and it's not cool.
Okay, but just Jay, you my sis, right?
Absolutely. And
Okay,
that's
so
why I'm
let's
being respectful right now.
okay, so let's just I don't know what's going on.
Well, that's the thing, D. There is nothing going on. That's what's annoying with the gaslighting. I
Okay,
don't know this nigga. I talked to
okay,
him one time outside
just
of today.
So
just
why you
Jay,
here?
just Jay.
What? Why I'm here? What? Are you the special guest and you the only person here? Like, I'm confused.
Just
My
Jay.
God, you so, oh child, listen. I definitely respect D Derell and this panel right now, because you are something to behold. You have
I
all this
mean,
intelligence, but you
mhm.
have yet to answer one simple question that I asked you. That's the only reason I got on the panel today.
Okay, I'm gonna say this.
Oh God, is it like the spread
Yes,
of
sir. Go
soldier?
ahead,
Like
D.
just come around me? Like what the fuck?
What?
Okay,
What are you even saying?
listen,
You need help.
listen,
Anyway,
just Jay.
what, D? Yes,
Listen,
sir.
the
Like
question.
this old
This
bag.
this
Come on, man.
this
Sir,
issue
please stop trying me. Please
this
stop trying
Nigga,
me.
I
this
could give a
I'm
fuck to
trying
you.
to be respectful.
hold on,
I'm
I'm
guys.
trying to
trying
be
to.
real
I'm gonna have to
respectful to you.
mute
I'm
both of
real.
y'all. Hold on, guys. Y'all listen. I don't know what's going on. It didn't start here. Please do not make this a spectacle. Let's just move on. Okay, we good?
I
We
don't like to
good?
be gaslit, and I'll
Okay.
just leave it there because there's nothing going on. D. This is what
Okay.
I'm saying.
But I hear what you're saying, but it's obviously something is wrong. So I
Now
just
she
don't.
dropping down, and this is volatile. I don't know these people. This is
Okay,
crazy. And then they
just
make you out to be the problem. That's kind of
just
weird. And he's telling me to get off a panel that he don't run.
okay, just Jay.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop down there, and I'm gonna
Thank
leave
you,
it be. Not a
thank you.
problem. You have a good evening, dear.
I look forward to seeing you again in other spaces. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and end it on that note. Any last words, brother? Speak.
Yeah, well, it's been interesting. I mean, modern women, traditional women. I mean, it really just depends the women that you be with, or the men that you're going to be with. Do they rock with what you got going on at the end of the day? Because it's a lot of where you have to accept what I got going on, and I see that on both sides with the men and the women. Instead of, okay, let's see if you rock with what I'm doing with, you know. So if we go on that one, but that has to start with, you have to know who you are. And I think just Jay was talking about in the past about we talk about the past too much, and I do agree that we really do think too much about the past. We idolize and demonize the past way too much, to where it's like there's some aspects of the past that, yeah, the negatives that need to be addressed, but we also have to look at the positives as well,
Right.
because like you said, DDerell, for all the negatives that the past did have, there was a lot of positives, and we can all admit that back then is probably way better than what it is now, and where we are more separated now than it would back then. Yeah, you can make the argument that they were doing it because a lot of them were forced, but there were a lot of people that wasn't forced. They wanted to stay together regardless of what's happening with the parents, and because at the end of the day, it was about the children and getting the family together. We don't have that now. Now we're more independent. Dudes want to, you know, if they can't control a woman, they don't want to get married, and the woman can't do what she want to do in the marriage, then they don't want to get married. And it's like, okay, well then what's the point of marriage if you're not going willing to work with each other? And so I don't care if you're a modern woman, you want to be a traditional woman or what. If you're not giving those if you don't have those attributes of a traditional woman, then you don't need a traditional man. Same with the man. If you don't have the attributes of a traditional man, you're not going to get a traditional woman. You're going to have to work with what you got and see everybody equally yoked. That's all it is.
Right. Okay. Well, appreciate your commentary. Any last words, BMT?
Oh boy! But I can't wait. I can't wait till I have my follow-up stream, boy. Oh yes, Lord. And I'm gonna have.
Me and you gonna have a conversation.
No. Trust me, I'm going to have some shit, boy. We about to fire up the cauldron on this shit right here. Fuck all the sis talk. Fuck all this other talk.
Brother, I don't even know what's going on.
I know. See, I'm gonna screenshot the back, and I'm gonna put that shit out there. We're gonna have this one because I told y'all, I'm literally. I try to be cordial. I actually stuck to the fucking assignment, bro. I did. I really did. Fuck all this goddamn. When you motherfuckers, y'all gotta understand when motherfuckers are trying to use people's platforms or people to try to get their angst off, and they ride around saying they're ghetto or all that other shit. Y'all gotta learn how to call this shit out. Like, and they show you what they are. You better believe them. Believe them. Stay on the talking points. Motherfuckers don't respect that. But it's cool. Like I said, it's cool. Because we're gonna definitely have it out. Like I said, y'all be wondering why these dudes be saying what they say or these women be acting the way they act. Just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Make people respect that. Like I said, the person ran up on your panel, said, I felt like that, you shut his ass down immediately and say, hey, I'll kick your ass off. Should have done the same thing, bro. You got to do the same thing. If I came up here and disrespected, kick my ass off the fucking panel, bro. It is what it is. I don't have no problem with that. I don't. If I'm not on the talking point, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is your platform. Nobody should take away from that. Me and you had our conversation. We didn't cut each other off. We just listened respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Agree to disagree. I'm just looking at it, man. I'm just these things keep on happening over and over again, you know. But hey, like I said, these people don't care whose shit that they burn down. When it comes to that of a conservative or a moderate, everybody has both sides that they can placate to. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. About this society. I do a podcast for bring shit from other panels, which I didn't bring it, but somebody brought it, and I'm gonna push it back. So we're gonna definitely have the conversation. I'll wait for your phone call before I do anything. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be a conversation.
we're gonna have to
We
talk,
definitely,
man.
we definitely about to, because it's about to be some trial by fire shit later on. I'm about to start asking the questions now. All right,
player. All right, guys, I'm out. Coach D, once again, appreciate you all for showing up. I appreciate all the cash apps, everybody that support the channel. Once again, I want to thank everybody for supporting, and I will be going live throughout the week. Appreciate the cash app from Juju, from Sexy Red, from Jason C. Y'all have a good night. Peace.